Blake. All right, everybody. Welcome to this Thursday night's edition of Fish North Georgia's Alive Well. We are so glad you guys could join us tonight. Got a great show in store for you. Got a very, very special guest live from a dove field up in Illinois. So, one Trey McKinney, and we'll have him on just a second. I got Ken Pruitt and Father Time, Kevin Thornton right beside me, and we're looking forward to this, guys. Hey, bring your comments and questions. But let's go ahead and take care of the business before we bring Trey on. And let's shout out our sponsors, Sonar Pros. Guys, you know it, 770-530-4505. The best in the business. Trent and the guys over there. Hey, you can take it elsewhere. It might be cheaper, but eventually you're going to take it to Trent. Or, you know, if you're in one of these leagues that's got to remove some stuff, I'm sure Trent can remove some of that stuff for you as well. So, again, by appointment only. And, of course, if you're on Lake Lanier and you want to go with the best guide for spotted bass, hey, it's Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing, www.lipstickerfishing.com. Or look him up on Facebook. You see it every week, all those big, huge spotted bass. And, of course, we got Evolve Rod Sleeves. We carry them at Fish North Georgia here. Come check them out. In fact, next Thursday night, I'm going to have Luke and Mark from Evolve on to do a little segment about Evolve Rod Sleeves. But it is the best in the business, bar none, not even close. If you're on Highway 369, you're in the paddle sport game, kayaks, whatever, fishing, hey, Festive Waters out there on 369. Check those guys out. And pop there up off the screen there, Blake. There we go. www.festivewater.com. And, of course, the Money Saver Lure Retriever, you know how much money you spend on all these high dollar pieces of bait. Hey, don't want to lose them. Use the Money Saver right there. And, of course, if you're in Jasper, Georgia, and you want some tires, alignment, anything you want for your car, hey, Turner Tire. I had their number. Pull out a big screen. There we go, 706-253-3339. Check them guys out. And, of course, our favorite, Etowah Beer, Mead, and Wine tonight. I am drinking 1833. I don't know, Kevin, do you have any of that tonight?
No, I have not.
You have not yet? Why not?
Because you didn't have red, white, and blue.
Oh, I'll get that. We'll get you some. So, anyway, all right, let's pop it back. Let's bring it. Is our guest there, or did he lose signal again? All right, so one thing I'm going to tell you, Trey he's in a dove field somewhere out in Illinois. So, the signal's coming in and out. We're going to bring him in. We just had him right before we went live. We got him right there, and right now it looks like we got the circle of death going, but he will be jumping back on. Trust me. So we're just going to go ahead. There's plenty to talk about in the bass world this week. Between the NPSF ban and everything, bass kind of doing something. Ain't really sure exactly what it is yet. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk to Trey, get his feelings about that. And anywhere in the comments section, if you could pull them comments up there for me, Blake, just see if we got anybody on right now. All right, what's up, Nick B, Tony, Alan Brooks? What's up, Danny? Looking forward to hooking up soon, man. That's Mr. TAA. So definitely, we're going to talk to him. I'd like to get him on just to get his thoughts about everything. So, Trey, can you hear us now? Listen, he's looking.
I think so. I think I got you.
Hey, that's it. Listen, kid, I appreciate you joining us right now. We'll try to hit the questions really quick. I know you got stuff you got to do, but I appreciate you joining us tonight. And dove hunt,
Thank
huh?
You.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We just got out of the dove field. Go ahead.
Say he's in that dove field there. Did you kill any?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we killed pretty well out this evening. I ran back to town to see if I get better service. I'm sitting in the middle of town. I don't know what's going on with my service, but we're trying.
You got a McDonald's around you?
Not close.
Not close
I'm
yet.
at Casey's gas station right now.
Well, you just hang in there with us, and we'll come in and out of service. So, real quick, congratulations on being, Bassmaster Elite Rookie of the Year. That's a hell of an accomplishment, man.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. So, hey, listen, tell me a little bit about, this year. Some of the experiences, the highs and lows. What's it like being a 19-year-old kid on, the Elite Trail?
I'll tell you what, it's intimidating. A lot of the guys wasn't too welcoming right off the bat. It was basically a trial throughout the season. This season, we've had ups, we've had downs. Everything about it, but overall blessed season this year. We've had a few minor mistakes that cost us big, but we're going to clean that up. We're going to make it different. Now that I know how everything rolls, how everybody moves, how the tournament trail goes, just the flow of it is a very important thing. And thank goodness, this year we've matured a lot, we've understood a lot, and going on this next year, I'm excited. Just as much as I've learned this year. and so forth, even about life, just maturing on the road. I feel like it's going to be an important player.
Yeah, so I talk to a lot of the younger guys, and I think you guys get a bad rap. The younger generation in general these days get a bad rap. But you kind of mentioned a little bit about that right there. Being accepted as a pro and all that. Tell me kind of like that process. What you had to work through.
Absolutely. The start of the year, everything was pretty quiet. Nobody really, everybody was kind of testing. Everything was real quiet. After Fork is when the spotlight was kind of on. From then on, it was pretty. I mean, it was pretty like on the edge. Like you're not getting talked to that much. It's like anything else, like rookie of anything. You got to work your way up, and I totally understand that. But there was a lot going on this year that I was like, we took plenty of lie detector tests this year. We've had plenty of stuff, accuse us of, and
Yeah.
it's been interesting. It's hard to, it's kind of hard to process it sometimes, but at another times, I take it as fuel. Take it as a learning experience. I understand it. I knew I didn't do anything for all the altercation or whatever the accusing was. So I was like, yeah, give me a lot of take a test. I'll go and take it, knock it out, and go on. Go catch my 5 bass and worry about the next day. So, it was a lot going on. I basically tried to be quiet. Do my own thing and worry about catching those next 5 bass every day. And that was kind of keeping my mind clean, not letting get the negativity get to me, and just staying positive. My mom was talking about it. Every once in a while, we just need to pray about it. We're gonna pray about it. Wake up in the morning, and tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah. Now listen, I like that. I gotta. On our side, we can see some comments, and they call me Collins. His screen name. You don't sound like a 19-year-old. That's an awesome attitude you've got, and I think it'll take you far. Keep living that dream. And seriously, that's the thing. Around here, Lake Lanier, with all the forward-facing sonar debate going on, we get all kinds of comments, and it's always the younger generation, they can't fish. And so, my buddy Ken right here beside me, we were kind of talking about you before. You haven't – forward-facing sonar hasn't been out your entire life. You've definitely learned how to fish at the lakes up there where you were at. And where was you talking? Where were they at?
So I grew up south of St. Louis.
Yeah.
So like anything like Kincaid and Red Lake and any of those things like Crab Orchard in your neck of the woods, I drive over and fish those. So he really had a lot of great lakes to cut his teeth on. So you don't use always forward facing sonar on all those lakes, but you can.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that when you hear these old timers? You hear all these old farts like me. All right, I'm in my 50s. I'm that generation.
It's
Be honest.
I do understand it. So like right now, a lot of it in the spotlight was me, using forward-facing sonar, because a lot of the lakes that we went to this year, I mean, to really compete, to make myself, that top percent, I felt like I had to have that edge on there. But I love like Toledo last year. For the opens, when I qualified, I caught most of them, basically all my weight, day 1 and day 2 flipping a little rage bug in the bushes, dragging them out. And that was my first bag over 20 pounds I'd ever caught by myself, like doing it all. I had a lot of 19-pound bags, like you said, Wren Lake, Crab Orchard, but I never broke that 20-pound mark. And that was a special thing about Toledo, is I got to do it like home. I got to go up there, flip shallow. Sometimes, I mean, they were so shallow you'd see them flash on it every once in a while. You'd set the hook and drag them out. That's a love of mine. I always have loved it. Fishing laydowns back home, that's a lot of the key stuff, is having the right laydowns, fishing those shallow ones that even are way shallower than what anybody would ever fish. So a lot of stuff that I like to fish shallow is stuff that normal people wouldn't cast on. So when you present your bait down it, if there is a fish, sometimes on certain stuff, they haven't been pestered with or as much. So a line around here has been that shallow water game. I miss it. Hopefully next year our schedule will have a few, maybe rivers, La Crosse, Arkansas River, something like that, to kind of get that shallow, the forward facing out. As everybody knows, the new rules come out. There's still going to be a lot of it. I mean, that's just unfortunate. I mean, that's part of it. But I'm not going to voice my opinion one way or the other. Like, I still feel like forward facing I like it, because not just because I'm a scoper. Let me rephrase that, but it's efficient. So like when you're going to fishing your cane piles on Lanier, instead of you casting your fluke around or your sweet bait or whatever else all the way around, you'll pull up and make 2 casts and you're gone. Like I guess that's the part I see from it is efficiency, and that's what I like about it. And that's the main thing, fishing brush piles, fishing laydowns. How many times everybody fish laydowns? You just fish what you can see, right? And
That's right.
instead, with live scope, I can kind of fish the tip of the laydown, couple casts, instead of me having to drag that whole laydown and take 5 or 10 minutes out of my day every laydown, which granted, that's totally fine what we used to do, but it's a lot quicker and a lot more efficient now that I can kind of pick out a couple flips to the trunk, couple flips to the middle, and a flip to the end and roll on, So that's the thing I like about it is being efficient, so I can cover more water and I can run more ideas that I have in my head throughout the day.
That's a good answer. Now, Robert Robleski's got a question for you. Actually, a couple of them. He fishes the NPFL. We can talk about that here in a little bit. But how do you deal with all the BS at such a young age when the whole bass world is either with you or not? And how do you deal with all the scrutiny? Because, dude, listen, let's be honest. You've been under a microscope.
It is. Like I heard something the other day. Like, I can't even, like, if I talk in the bag line, whatever else like that. Like, it's just if I say one thing off, they're gonna be like, report. Like, I'm not being that extent, but it is. Like, even in the bag line, just talking to somebody, I gotta be watching what I say. And even though I didn't mean anything by it, but they take it and twist it sometimes. And like that's the thing is I just kind of had to be, just be me, just kind of be to myself, not talk a whole lot. A few guys, really good guys, I mean, there's a lot of good guys on the elites, don't get me wrong, but I do get where it's coming from. 9 new guys come in, and if they're taking checks or anything else like that, that's another spot out. Like, so I get it. It's threatening to a lot of guys, and 100%. If I was in their shoes, it would be threatening. It goes around. I'm just trying to look at it from everybody's perspective, and it does. I can see it, but there has been a lot this year that was kind of uncalled for, kind of low shots. The thing I get when somebody is threatening me, the thing is I never had anybody come up to my face and say anything all year. As much stuff as there was going on, I didn't have hardly one person come up to me and like approach me about any of it. So that is one thing I wish would change. I wish they just come approach me, and we'll sit down and talk about it. If something you rubbed you wrong, let's sit down and make it right. Let's sit down and talk about it. And I'm all right with that, But when it goes on to like social media threatening my career on something that's not true, that's where you got to draw a line. I feel like, because even like my sponsors this year, like I had a few of them contact me like, hey, what's going on? Like when you start messing around with that stuff, I mean that's a little to me that's a lot. Like you can come at me, but when it starts going like my sponsor's way and the thing that I have to live for a career, that's a little threatening. I mean that's a long.
Yeah, I totally get that. I trust me, we own a tackle shop here, so your name, just a lot of the younger guys' names, it gets brought up all the time, and we've kind of watched those situations that you're talking about. We don't have to bring them up exactly, but I know exactly what in the hell you're talking about. Yeah. Yep. So, but it's just like, but it always seems to be that there's this generational gap too. A lot of the old timers, like say, and hell yeah, they're threatened. I mean, you can fish, so I can remember because we saw you down at ICAST because I had the booth right across the street from me. We were with our TV show. Sir. And when you walked up, I remember like, that's McKinney, and they were like, who that kid right there. And we got talking about, I said, don't take this the wrong way. I said, that little bastard can fish. I mean, listen, you can see talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can see talent and all that. So, yeah, I get the threatening part. Now, one of the things, though, I mean, how do you want to say it, Ken, when we talk about it in here? I mean, it seems to be, though, that the shots are always thrown at the younger kids. Mm-hmm. The shots are always thrown down the age group. It's never up the age group.
Yeah. I mean, shots are usually going to the guys that are winning.
Yeah. If they're
so
winning.
even if you get a couple guys fishing Scott Barnes or whatever, then there might be some drama around the guys because they won 3 weeks in a row or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys, they took it rough this year and they handled it good. So
yeah, we're kind of impressed by it, to be honest with you, because like I said, it's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, he's you done froze up on me again, so maybe you can keep hearing. There he's back.
Because even Robert was on 2 weeks ago or last week.
Robert G was on last week.
So he said they
this class made an impression.
they took their lumps, but they kicked everybody's butt.
They were
so
good.
I liked it. So,
How about this? How close are you? That group of rookies coming in. How close are you guys?
We're pretty close, overall, even if we see different, like we usually come up to each other and talk it out, like I forget the St. Lawrence, we were all kind of me, Robert, Kyle, JT, Tyler, like, we all kind of started on the same place that we'd found. And, we just worked it out, we just talked about it like, hey, I was like, okay, I'm going to stay a little longer. If you want to come back in, come back in. Like, so we're pretty close, like, there's always a fine line of close, like, as of like friends, whatever else like that. Yeah, we'll talk, go eat supper, whatever else like that. But like, of talking, like, this is what I learned, like, of in the industry, everybody, I try not to be everybody's like buddy, like on the information side of things.
Yeah.
So we don't really show much about that. We kind of have our little cliques. Like, I think it's Robert, John, Garrett, Cody Huff.
Right.
Them, I think they're staying together, and then it's me, Tyler, JT, and then I think Wesley Gore, Kyle Patrick. So we're all in our own little groups. But yeah, it works out good. Everybody's pretty well on a good playing field.
I like that. So Blake back there, who's running, he does the switch, and he was trying to tell us, ask him about clicks. And then hell, you said clicks. We want to know, do you see clicks among the older guys as well? Clicks. Okay, so down south, we call a clique a group of guys that hang out together. Your buddies and all that. You go to church, and some of these people go this way. So when you're out there, I mean, do you see that with the older guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, you do. Depends. Like, it's hard to say. Like, you will have your guys. Like, you'll have your kind of little group over here that always seems like they're talking to each other at the gas station in the morning. Stuff like that. There is definitely groups of different anglers throughout the 100 of us. But there's a few that you don't see many. They don't go out much. But for the most part, there's little cliques throughout the whole group of us.
Yeah, it's always interesting to get the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
everybody sees what's on TV. We want the behind the scenes stuff. That's what we like. I had a damn question and I forgot it. You got a question? While I think
I
about
got two if you want.
Answer that. Ask him that question. Hell, you got a whole damn sheet of questions right here. Ask him a question.
Come on with it.
So it looked like you had 3 electronics on the bow and 3 at the console on the basket.
Yep.
What are you rigging up next year?
Yeah, how are you going to get down to that magic number?
I was joking with somebody. I was like, I'm gonna get 5, 10 inches and then a 5-inch grab, just see what people would say. But I was like, no, I think I'm gonna do maybe 2 16s, a 12, and a 10, maybe.
Okay.
What did you guess?
I guessed a 16 and 3 12.
Yeah, we were guessing beforehand what your answer would be. So that's not bad. I'll be honest. What do you think about the new rules?
I mean, I wish they'd have went like an even number, like 60 or something, where I could have done, I think, what was my deal? It was either 60 or I think actually 56, and like I would have got 2 16s and 2 12s or vice versa. I think, I mean, it just depends, it's all right. The new rule, like I said, it's going to make the rigs a lot more simpler. I think a lot of it had to do with safety. I feel like a lot of it was on regulation of, like, there's been a few accidents this year. A lot of people think it's because of graph height. A lot of people can't see over a lot of stuff, like the whatever 22-inch screen or the 16 up front if it's mounted wrong. I think that had to do a lot with the inches on that part of it. I think that's one way to kind of say, hey, we need to narrow it down, because earlier this year, they were measuring our screens and they would always worry about the up and down width. So I feel like a lot of it had to do with something like that. Safety wise, as of running, controlling your boat. But yeah, honestly, I mean, it is going to be simpler, a lot less to worry about. It's kind of nice. Instead of like going back here, I did have 2 live scopes off the back, the left and right. So I would idle with live scopes. Now we just get to go, like, the less in the picture, the more your mind is just kind of running. It's not as much cluttered, maybe it's a good thing, I might like it, just go back to the stack up front, my 16 for live and my 10 for mapping, and just have side scan and mapping on the back. Like, honestly, I think it's going to be kind of fun.
I got you. So, that's a pretty good answer. But Blake wants to know, does size really matter when it comes to the screens?
Does size really matter? It just depends. So size matters on, like, okay, so when you're looking at fish, size does matter. Size matters depending on size of fish when you see it on the screen. So like if I move to a 10-inch, like a lot of times, like right now I have my 16-inch, and the way I see fish is like on size. So like if I'm scoping or whatever else like this, I won't waste my time if, I feel like they're smaller. However, it's like that, I've had enough time behind it where I can kind of tell that. So the more you go up, I feel like 16 is just right for the proportions of like fish, anything like that, to perfectly tell size. You're going to have a few blind sides if you head on or whatever. You won't tell like perfectly size or nothing like that. But I think anything bigger than 16, it gets a little funky on size. So like a 3-pounder would look like a 8-pounder, like it's not for me, but I really like 16. It matches all the proportions for the fish. If you look down, you feel like it's a big one. Usually it's one you need in a tournament, and if you feel like it's a small one, it's a small one.
Yeah.
That's how I like it. I like the 16 because my size is really well.
Gotcha. All right, so trick fishing. No, I didn't get a bad haircut. Hell, son, I'm going bald. There's nothing about a haircut here. Ron Swinford wants to know, have you considered the 360 for next year?
I have. So a 360, good point. That guy had a really good question. I think the sales will go up on that. There'll be a lot of people running them next year. It's something else that they can have. It's another edge that you could have, So I don't know if I'll run one. Just depending. I haven't figured it out yet. Is it good? It is. But I feel like I go so fast with my, my forward facing that I'm not usually waiting for it to, go around in a cycle. Usually I'm on 6 to 8, usually going in a straight line or somewhere down a bank or something. So I'm considering it for like certain fisheries, like a grass fishery. I need to see the edge of the line, or like shallow cover, something like that. That's a really deadly tool for that. But I am definitely going to consider it. I haven't made up my mind yet, depending on what I do with on my boat next year. But very good question. I feel like a lot of people will rotate to a 360 next year.
Okay. What was your second question?
If you had to pick 5 lakes for next year for the schedule, what would you pick?
Oh, hell yeah. Come on.
I'm going to start with Fork. I think we need to go back to Fork. And Lacrosse. So Fork, Lacrosse, a herring fishery. So maybe Murray or Lanier. It'd be pretty cool to see Lanier in there. Lanier would be a wild one. Let's go the Central Lakes. Maybe like a Kentucky lake. I feel like that'd be, or like Barkley, something like that. I know they ain't never done Barkley, but I like Barkley. And where else? And then like a St. Lawrence. I feel like that would be a deal. Or Lacrosse, I love. I'm praying that it's on the schedule next year.
Yeah.
I might not do any good there, but that place is awesome. Like I said, I've had a couple tournaments up there. I love running shallow, dangerous water and being on the adrenaline edge. So it's a really good fishery, and I get to jump sandbars and do all sorts of fun stuff to get back to them. So I'm in love with that
That's
place. I've had to push multiple times, but that's the fun in it, and I love it.
So if Lanier's on the schedule, I'm going to go ahead and get you on record right now. You got to come in here and do one in studio with us.
That's perfect,
listen.
buddy.
Hey, listen, this is a receipt right now. So, I mean, you can't get out of it. Hey, you done promised. What else? Listen, Ken did all this damn homework on you, and he's come up with all kinds of questions and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm just a talker here. So what else you got? What other questions you got?
Let's see.
You got a whole damn page of notes.
Yeah, I got a lot to pick from. How did you think about with the power pole trolling motor being new this year? What did you really like about that trolling motor? Because you're probably going to help me figure out what I'm putting on my boat.
Okay, I understand. So at first of anything new, right, there's issues, right? Everything new, there's stuff to work out, and they done a really good job to get all the updates, everything out for it, and fix a lot of those little problems. And now, phenomenal troll motor. I love it. Not knocking any other people's products, but every once in a while you have a troll motor for so long, and what does it do? It gets squeaky, it gets loud, it gets, every time when you're scoping left and right, it's squeaking. And if anybody else is like me, it drives me crazy. I carried, at one point when I had a troll motor, I carried WD-40, and don't get me wrong, that didn't fix much, but it helped the squeak, not permanently, but some. But the thing I like about the Move is there's not a lot to it. It's lighter, you get more lift. So that's a big thing on your boat, running your boat. That's actually a huge deal. My bass cat like this ran so good on the light bow. So that it's dependable. I've had one thing and it was minor. It was like literally like one wire that done something on me, but other than that, no issues. The foot pedal is going to be different if you've come from a different trolling motor, but once you get used to it, you're gonna love it. It's light. When you put it down, it's quiet. It blows through grass, and you can cut down anything you want. I really, for what I've seen, great trolling motor. It's got the system where if you hit a log, which it might reset, it'll knock the foot pedal out of deal, but trying to keep anything so it don't break off your puck. All you do is you gotta lift it up and it'll recalibrate. You put it back down. There's a lot of other little things on it that's really nice. For me, great trolling motor. It's fast, it's quiet, and it's small. And for me, when running
Yeah.
a Bass Cat, I couldn't have anything else more perfect.
Yeah, so I've noticed you said Bass Cat 2 times. 2 times. So that's definitely the boat you like. So tell us what you like about a Bass Cat. If we didn't just lose you. Oh, there he
Say
is.
that
Okay,
one more
there you
time.
go.
You broke up on me. My bad.
Yeah, so we broke over
Say
there.
it one more time.
So Bass Cat, tell us about your boat. What do you like about a Bass Cat? And I want you to be really good because if anybody from Bass Cat's watching, I want a free one for my TV show. Like seriously, I want you.
Okay.
I want you.
Might work
Listen,
that out.
you sell me on why I need to have a Bass Cat on my TV show.
Now, come on. So the main thing about a Bass Cat, right? It's inside. It's poured right. You use certain stuff that's a lot. So anybody has like stress cracks in their boats around their coolers. I mean, that's kind of the common place. A lot of places like that. That's one thing. The boat is sturdy. The boat, I'll give it to him 100%. It is a sturdy built boat. The wiring in it, I haven't had no little buttons go out. I haven't had no pumps go out. I have not found one stress crack, and I've looked the boat over because I was curious on what it'd do after a hard season. Not one stress crack. It's fast. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is mine. And it rides really good. This year at St. Lawrence, I was the first one at that point, whether I had a bad boat number or a good boat number. That was running against a current like that. It's a good boat because in big waves, so it's a smaller boat. I'm running a Puma STS. Some boats, you go head on, but in a Puma, it's kind of I call it cat like, but it's like it's smaller, so you can kind of navigate through the waves real easy. You can dip down in a swell, come back up, go down another one. You can kind of navigate waves really well in that smaller hole. So that's been a really good thing for me. You will have to learn on certain things how to turn, stuff like that. But once you get down, that's a great deal. Even like anything, if you run a 4-blade on it, thing is a beast. Like if you're not gonna run as fast, but if you run like a Bravo or something like that on it, that thing is like a Cadillac. It turns on a dime, gets on pad like a dime. The main thing I like about it, on shallow water is got a old shot. And when I'm running shallow like that, instead of having to grind on the bottom, I can just kind of do a little U, get up on pad and run. So it's a great boat. The main thing I like about it is stuff lasts. That's the biggest part of it. In a season like ours, you put a lot of wear and tear on stuff. And for me to go out just yesterday or a couple days ago in the boat, not worry about a thing, put it in, not have to tighten nothing, and just go fishing. That's the thing I love about it. It's less maintenance. I'm not worrying about nothing, and I'm putting it in, tightening the plug, and I'm going fishing. And that means a lot to me. That's been a really good thing in this season. But it's a great boat. It runs good, it's fast, and I'm young, so that fast has got my attention. I love it.
That's right. So again, if you're watching from Bass Cat tonight, the Real American Road Trip would love a free Bass Cat boat for the show because Trey McKinney said I needed one. I believe that's what he said. Is that not what you heard? Yeah, Trey McKinney said I needed one. So there you go. What's your next question there?
So everybody this year was like saying all the rookies are doing like the little jig head minnow and all that. But if you went back through the Bassmaster article, you had some pretty impressive glide baits in that article. I think there was 2 or 3 cases of some really nice glide baits.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to see that. He caught me off guard. He was like, "Let me see them things." I'm like, "You gonna post this?" He's like, "Maybe." I'm like, "Fine, we'll take a picture." But yeah, it is love of mine. That's an incredible bite. That bite is it's unbelievable actually, but it burns you more than it helps you, and that's the thing I found out a lot about it. I think I've caught 2 fish this season on it. St. John's, I caught I think right at 6-pounder on a glide off a wreck, and I found it idling, and I'm like, what is that thing I threw a glide bait on? I see one just shoot up at it and I reel it in the tournament, I made that same cast to the front of the boat and I twitched, and a 6-pounder come up and ate it. So I talk about an adrenaline rush. I love it for back home because I've been fishing all over the place and I don't throw it a lot because it does burn me. But when I come home, I can just lock it in my hands. I'm going out for fun and I learn more about it. You know, if you do everything right on a glide bait, you can at least get one to touch it. You know, if you work it right, everything else like that. It's painful to watch when a 5-pounder comes up and slaps at it and not gets it or follows it to the boat. But it's an adrenaline rush and I love it. It's a good side time when you just want to go have fun. You might only get a couple bites, but it's going to be the most fun. So it's just lock them up, crank them to the boat, and boat flip them. And I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Cameraman Cletus. That sounds like somebody ought to know, Trey. Talk about that fluke bite on Murray, some wild footage from that derby. And I watched that one. I remember watching that and just saying, like, Murray is only 2 hours from here, maybe 2.5. And I was like, shit, I want to get on some of that. So tell me about that Murray bite.
Absolutely. So, like, in a time, and I think like 2 years ago, I went to Hartwell for I think I qualified for the All-American, and I fished there. And I that's the only thing I get one to bite. I didn't know not one clue about herring fishery. Actually, I despised it, and because I could never get them to eat it. And once I kind of got that one bite in practice, I forget what I was doing. I wasn't even focused fishing. I was just kind of reeling it, and all of a sudden, boom! I'm like, what was that? Like, what is that? Why did he do that? And I figured it out, and I started running points that looked like I ran every point down the whole right side of that lake as fast as I could. Just bang, 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 make 5 or 6 casts as long as I could. I'd even throw like a wanderer. I found a couple of those on like eBay and stuff. I'd burn them, and wherever I could see them, I'd just mark them and go to the next, mark them and go to the next, mark them and go to the next. And I had enough spots to run with that fluke. I could just throw it out there, and when I'd see him coming, I'd be like, oh gosh, and you just keep reeling, and they would just engulf it. It's the most fun bite once I got confidence in it and actually figured out how to do it. It is incredible. I'm jealous now. I don't live down there in one of them lakes. It's awesome.
Yeah. Are you in your truck right now?
I am.
Flip on your interior light for me. You're getting dark on me.
Getting dark?
Yeah, see,
That's about
we
all
want to see
lights I
that
got. I
pretty
can
face.
take off my hat.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I want
Okay.
I want to get as much of that natural beauty as I could. I ain't never seen him without a hat on. Look at that.
I don't think many people have.
All right, so Eric B. Richards, one of our viewers, wants to know, what's your steps on breaking down a new body of water?
Pick an area. That's the main thing. A lot of it, you know, when you're coming to a new body of water, you know, we got so much research at our tip of our fingertips now. Bass Live, we got all MLF, you know, just articles, YouTubers. There's a lot more stuff out there when you really dig into it on certain like known lakes. You can kind of pick out you like 2 areas that you hear that name over and over, over and over, over and over. You know, like let's say at Toledo Bend, housing. Like you hear that creek over and over, over and over. You know, like you know the fish are in there. It's just instead of going out on an open branch. So that's the thing. Instead of branching out, I go to a place like housing in Toledo Bend that I know there's a ton of fish. I find out what they're doing, and then I run out to where then I can run the pattern elsewhere. So what I'll do is I'll start there, figure out they're on secondary points or on laydowns halfway back in a creek or at the standing timber at the mouth of the deal. And then from then on, I'll just run that anywhere else that I think looks good. So at least I know what to look for. I got confidence in what I'm doing, and then I can take it all over the lake.
Okay. Cameraman Cletus wants to know, were you dyeing any of your fluke chartreuse, or were they already chartreuse?
They were already chartreuse. They do make it zoom, and actually Strike King makes.
We lost him. All right, so we'll wait till Trey gets back on. So maybe that was something he wasn't supposed to tell everybody. That was a secret thing. So Trey kicked back on. I will tell you, there he's back. Can you hear us now? You went away for a second.
Yeah, I'm back.
So
yep, I had a phone call, but it's they were chartreuse, and you can throw their Strike King has a caffeine shad that's I think it's siren the color. You can throw that as well as Sprat chartreuse.
Okay. For those of you watching, listen, Trey's going to be on for a little while longer, and then he's probably got a date or something tonight. He called and told me he had some plans to come up, so it's got to be with a girl or something. I hope so anyway, like that. And then afterwards, we're going to do the question of the week, and then us 3 are going to pontificate about the NPFL and Bass's new rules and everything. So the reason I say that is if you got a question for him, you better get it in because he's going to be. You got about 20 more minutes with Trey McKinney and all that. So you got another question?
He needs to take you duck hunting.
Oh yeah. So I heard you're a big duck hunter.
I am, yes, sir.
Well, listen, like I've been to Illinois twice deer hunting in Pike County,
Okay.
and I will tell everybody that talks about it, that place will change your life. You know, we hunt down here in Georgia now, but I ain't never been duck hunting.
Okay.
Well, we need
I
to
think
go.
you might be able to change that.
Let's do that. All right, so it's a date. So how is Trey hooking those flukes?
You know, I stand more standard. I didn't get into the whole, working it crazy or like putting a treble hook on the back of it. I feel like if they're gonna get it, they're gonna get it. If it's meant to be, I'm gonna catch it. But other than that, I just basically took a Gamakatsu hybrid worm hook. I forget, it's the Mike McClellan hook, if I want to say. Depends on what size of fluke you're throwing. I do that, and I would just hook it through it, pin it all the way through the back, and I would basically sometimes even hook back into the skin. I just leave it, but every once in a while, when they try to run hook it on me, or not, like you guys seen the video how it's kicking real hard, I would put it around and then hook it right back in maybe just a little bit, and it would run straight. But there's a lot to that. You can boil. Just leave them out in the sun. I'll just put them on.
I think I don't know what in the hell you just said. He'll pop it. There, he's back now. We got the first part of that answer, and the rest sounded like some Japanese stuff. We'll just take it at that. All right, we'll go with that. In practice for an event, how many actual casts are you making to a fish?
Not a whole lot. I run and gun a lot. I'll usually drop my trolling motor, pan around, and see what I like to see if I can get them to follow it 2 or 3 times. I'm like, that's a group of beggins, move on. I don't try to catch one. I hook as less as I can. Now, every once in a while I will get carried away. Okay, I do like catching them a lot, and I'll hook a little more than what I'm supposed to, but we're all human. But I usually go and I'll see them. If I see a big one, what I'll do is I'll kind of go down through the same stretch of bank, see how many more I see, and then get out of there. Sometimes, let's say if I'm flipping and I flip one flip, catch a 2-pounder, and I'm like, I need 3-pounders at least. And I'll flip in there again, catch a 3-pounder. Then I won't set the hook down the whole rest of the stretch, and I'll just keep flipping, find out where I get bites, how long the stretch goes down, so I'm not just fishing miles of bank. So like stuff like that's really good. The deal on the scope is if I'm trying to find fish in like brush something, I'll make one flip, and if I see one go down on it, I reel it out and I go to the next one. I don't really care about size because I know there's going to be a big one at some point in time. Use it if there's fish on it. So I just I find as many places with as many fish as I can, and then it depends on what happens in the tournament on what I got to do to get a big bite.
Okay. Gone Fishing wants to know, what are your top 3 lures for the early fall transition?
Early fall transition. I'll be honest with you, I don't fish a lot in the fall, but glide bait
Because
is
you're
one
hunting.
that's good. I do. I am hunting all the time, but I will say I have had a little time. It's I do love a glide bait. Let's see, glide bait. It depends what kind of fishery you're on, but let's see. I'm gonna do kind of somewhere around here. I usually tend to every once in a while spinnerbait in the fall when the water temps gets a little lower. That can be good. I usually jig, spinnerbait, and glide bait. That's what I'm gonna leave it at. Or spinnerbait or chatterbait, whichever one floats your boat better.
Okay, that works. Tony wants to know, describe your research and day one practice at a new lake that you've never been to before. How are you breaking it down to figure it out?
Okay, so usually I get on there and I'll watch any kind of like old time videos. I'll look up tournaments on Toledo Bend, and then I'll see like MLF tournaments coming up. I'll watch the live. There's a lot on there. Like I say, you can look at background, and even if they don't say where I can usually pick out exactly what creek arm, something like that. Stuff like that. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there. Articles is a good one. And once I find my main creek arm, I go in there. And the night before, what I do is I look over the whole lake and I find out where I want to go, like what looks good to me. And I'll keep that right there. And then I'll go in the part of the lake that I know is good. And I'll go in there, see what I can figure out. And then once I figure out a pattern, I'll take it to the part of the lake I think looks good and just keep running it to the different parts of the lake and seeing what else I can figure out.
Okay, perfect. So Trip Fishing wants to know, now this is like a 3-part thing. You get one lake, one season, one bait. Where are you going? When and what are you throwing? Hell, he's gonna say Lake Fork. I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's so hard not to like. It's gotta be. It's gotta be a Texas lake
Mhm.
in
Ain't
the
hard when you
spring.
catch 120 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go instead of being biased and saying Lake Fork. I'm gonna be a Texas lake in the cold spring when the water isn't quite. It's not 60. I don't like when it hits 60 because that means they're sliding up there for what I like to do. But when you're in that, let's say 45 to 55, throwing a jerk bait and catching some big ones in Texas, that's pretty hard to beat. That's pretty hard to beat. When you twitch it down there and you let it sit and then one slurps it, it's amazing.
I got you. That's a good answer. Hell, I knew it was Lake Fork.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't say Lake Fork?
Right.
All right. So now let's kind of transition a little bit. I want your opinion on the NPFL, on their decision, straight ban. What do you think? Good, bad, indifferent? How do you feel?
So I don't know if this feels how everybody else feels, but I feel like it's going to give some people a place to go. I feel like that's the best thing. I feel like it's going to give a few certain anglers, they're going to give them a place to go, and I feel like that might be the best thing.
We lost him right there. There, he's back. All right. Do you agree with it?
I do. Like I was saying, I do agree with it. I feel like it's just going to give certain anglers and certain fishermen a place to go, and hopefully it kind of levels out everything, and everybody's kind of happy. You know, I feel like that is going to be a good decision on people that feel that way and can go that way. And for people that don't feel that way, come into either Bass or MLF, depending on what's the future like.
How would you have felt if Bass came out yesterday and said they banned it?
It would have been shocking, but honestly, I would have been kind of like, let's do this. Like, let's just go do it. I would have to relearn a little bit because this last year, that's all you've had to do. You've had to do it, it's part of it.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot of like techniques to do it, help my, percentage go up. So it's hard to say, but it kind of would be kind of cool at first, but heck, I mean, I feel like they done the right move, but that's just me. When I think of bass fishing, I think of leading edge. I think of adapting, everything else like that. Sometimes that's the wrong way to look at it. I get it. But I feel like, technology, I mean, there's got to be a limit to it because there's no telling what they're going to come out with next. But, I'm excited for this next year. But I am NPFL, they did do that. And I feel like it's going to give certain anglers places to go. And I feel like it's going to make, hopefully some peace.
Yeah, for a piece, exactly. Now, a question coming from Blake back there. What's your strong suit as an angler? What are you really good at? And then I'm going to add another question.
Like if he's not scoping.
Not scoping. Like if he's not scoping,
If he ain't scoping, what's
okay? If you're not scoping, what is your strong suit? What are you best at?
Flipping a jig to isolated cover, stuff like that. I really like fishing bushes I got my little jig I throw, and I really, really like throwing that in either the springtime or when they get shallow, however they do, flipping my little jig and lay downs, docks, etc. I like just skipping it, flipping it, putting it where anybody else can't. Any dark hole I see going down the bank, my jig is going in. That's kind of, I really like doing that, is just kind of go junk fishing with my jig. And, it's not a big bag. I don't usually catch a lot of big bags, but it's very consistent.
What kind of jig? Kevin wants to know what kind of jig you're throwing.
It's a baby structure jig from Strike King, actually. I usually put a Strike King Menace on the back, and I trim it down, and I get it to that kind of finesse size, and it catches big ones, and it catches limit fillers, and it catches everything in between.
Okay, that's a good answer. Now, I always ask everybody what they're good at, but I want to ask you this because I do the same thing with everybody else. What do you suck at? I mean, like, seriously, like, what is the worst way? Like, you do not want to fish this way unless it's an absolute emergency.
Ledge. I'll get my butt kicked. I'll get my butt kicked ledge fishing. Like, if I have to go out there and idle forever, like, some guys don't even practice. They're just like, I'm going to find them out there on the ledge. And it drives me crazy because I idle for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I suck. Like, I can't find them. I don't know what's going on. But ledge fishing, I'd say my weakness. That's hard. Like, they get in certain, like, every once in a while I find a place. but I've always dreamed of like doing really well in a tournament with finding like a sneaky school or something and just catching them. But that's never me usually. That's not usually.
I got you. I got to put a dip in. So you asked the question, so I ain't got the camera on me. There we go.
So this is more for the people watching. So this is just Bassmaster stats the last 2 years, right? So like 18 tournaments, you cut a check 15 times, according to Bassmaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to kind of do a little straight cast math, but I'm going to get straight to the end of it. Every 3-pounder he catches is worth $1,100.
Yeah, we did some math before this all started. I don't know if you kind of yeah, look at him.
So
seriously, we did the math.
Total winnings, $343,690. And then if you divide all that by your pounds, get to what, 367 a pound times 3, $1,100.
$1,100, but do you realize that?
Pocket for every 3-pounder he puts in the live.
Have you figured that out? So basically, for every pound of fish, it's worth to you
$367 per pound.
$367 per pound of fish. If you figure that out.
One of just a small St. Lawrence 3-pound fish.
Look at his ass. Look at him. He's like, damn.
So a 3-pounder that he called on the St. Lawrence River is worth $1,100.
So then listen, this is what happens when you get a bunch of old farts
We don't have much to do.
in a tackle shop before we're going to talk to that guy. We looked at your stats.
Yeah.
Let me see that. So you even had, so you have one, and I guess Bassmaster, when they put it on their website, you probably fished some opens or is that,
this was the 23 year where we did the EQ Opens.
The EQ Opens
and then the Elite Series this year. They rolled it all up. And then check my math because I skipped a lot of school to go
hell,
fishing,
I don't know.
so.
But listen, dude, you've had 18 tournaments. You finished in the money 15 times. That's a pretty damn good rate. You going to brag on yourself a little bit? Come on, brag on yourself a little bit.
Nah, I'm not like that. But it depends. Like I said, I have been. It's been fun. Like for me, I just like going out and catching fish. Like for around like my family, everything else like that. Like every tournament I go in, I try to put myself in the highest percentage chance to win it. It's like anybody else. When I go out there, that's all that's in my mind is how to get that next bite, how to land that next fish, and how to catch bigger ones. Every day, if I'm not satisfied and I'm going, I'm like, I got to figure something else out. That's everything on my mind is how to get that next spot and how to land those big ones. And I feel like it really drives me. I don't get set with one thing. Like if my goal is 15 pounds and I get 15 pounds, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to relax. Anything else like that. As soon as I meet it, I'm like, nope, I got to catch 20. That's just how I've always grown up and how it is. I fish as hard at 701 as I do 259. That's how I've always done it. It's worked out for me, and every minute is a time to catch a fish, and that's how I look at it. Normally when I shut down before the nose hits the water, the trolling motor's already down. So that's just kind of how I've always ran it. It's gonna catch up to me on my body before long, but we're gonna keep getting it while we have a chance.
What the hell? You're 19 years old. What do you mean catching up on your body, dude? Wait till you get 50-something like me. Well, 19-year-old, we're going to catch up on my body.
I figured it.
Yeah. I must be
I don't wear sunscreen or nothing, so I got to start.
I don't either. And if you better start, you'll look like me. All right, what do you want to say?
I was going to ask you, since the season started, how many days have you been home? Like you weren't on the lake. Like you actually took a break and you actually went back home since the beginning of the season.
Maybe like
you've been on the water a lot.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, since January to August, probably 10 days.
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what we were talking about last week. These guys are putting in all the hard work.
Yeah.
And they're practicing. It might be a different lake nearby when they're waiting for off limits to go off order, but to only be home 10 days since January.
Yeah. Which to me, you see the comment every once in a while that you guys can't only catch fish because of live scope. If it was that damn easy, my ass is going to be at home more than 10 days.
Yeah.
That's right. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I hate to say that stuff. Trey, what's the top speed you've gotten out of your Bass Cat?
Top speed. Usually like fully loaded running. Usually I'm running 77 to 78. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cooking.
That's cooking. Trey, hold on. So just give me a sec. David Fernandez in the comment section. So it sounds to me like you're a little bit of a hater. So you know what? Listen, you're free to put your comments on there right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a host of the show, I don't give two shits if you watch or if you ever watch again. I can't stand it when somebody gets in my comment section and starts doing that, flipping birds, saying stuff like that. This kid can fish. It doesn't matter whether he's doing it with a daggum live scope or not. You need to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on because that is really ignorant. And you can kiss my ass and turn it off and block me for all I care. I can't stand people do shit like that. And I hate to get on somebody in the comment section to do that, but that's seriously like, dude, give it up. Give it up.
Tell us how you really feel.
That pisses me off.
I got a question.
I mean, listen.
I understand.
There you go. Okay, David, just hit the unsubscribe button and go on. I don't care. All right, go ahead.
All right, Trey. Oh, you can't see me right now. All right, man. I've loved everything you've done. I've loved watching you this whole season grow and everything. To me, you should have took the whole pie. I know you had the late weigh in and all that. It is what it is, but you should have won it all this year. Coming in, if the live scope wasn't a part of the game, do you feel like you could be able to use your strong suits and still be able to compete with some of the guys? Because I know I watch, man, there's a lot of guys, the guys that are using the scope, they're cashing a lot more checks than the guys, I guess you could say the old guys who aren't trying as much. But if you had to go away from it in some of these tournaments, would you still be able to take your strong suits and what you've known and still be able to go out and have the success you are? And not only with you, but some of these other young guys that are on the trail as well. Could they take their young experience, say their 5-10 years of pro fishing and be able to compete with some of the older guys? Because, you see that. Oh, I fished 30 years. It's took me 30 years to figure this kind of stuff out. These new guys are coming in. They're just finding the fish in the middle of the lake. To me, throw that crap out of the window. Everybody's got their strong suits. It's different from everybody.
Yep.
And I think it goes back. The young guys are wanting it more. They're putting in more time on the lake. You've been home for 10 days. Now you're starting to hunt, man. You're in a dove field. You can see the difference between some guys.
Was there a question there?
I mean, kind of.
That's the most Blake has talked in 3 weeks.
Let me say, hey, real quick, Trey. Let me say one more thing to David. Okay, listen. I realize you've watched me for a while, and I hope you can stay watching. The one thing I can't stand though is number one, this kid's fishing. And to all the haters out there, he's an elite. There's 40 of them in the world out of 6 freaking billion people. I mean, so. They can't just get there because of live scope, because if it was just live scope, my ass would be an elite. And I can't catch shit. That's just the way it is. So you got to give these kids props. And I think that's with the younger guys. I just see all the hate on the younger guys from some of your damn pros that everybody thinks is like the next Jesus walking. And then they say that, and I just get frustrated with it.
Dan,
right?
Coming from an old guy, I don't think all the old guys show any disrespect. I think they understand this new crop that's coming along and give them kudos. I don't think it's all the old guys.
I just think it's an excuse because they're in there kicking everybody's ass.
Well, it is.
Okay, sorry about that, Trey. I didn't mean
for all of them.
Right. Yeah. So we have Kevin's on his own. I don't mean to take it. I see it every single day. You see it on social media. Randy freaking Blockhead. I swear he needs Blockhead. He needs to stop with all the stuff that young guys are killing us, all this stuff. So, I mean, I'm sorry. There's my rant for tonight. So, sorry you had to see that. I hope it didn't scare you off. Yeah. So,
you're all good.
Yeah. So,
Kevin's got it right.
What's Kevin? Lipsticker fishing. These young guys have a platform starting in high school now. They come out of their junior years as hammers, live scope or not, they put in the time. Surf Dad says, would you enter a no front-facing sonar tournament or no electronics tournament? Just one, and obviously you have talent. And listen, I'm buddies with Alan with the TAA, and he did that tournament down here on Lanier, and we had a hell of a time. We covered it. If Alan has another one of those tournaments and it works in your schedule, would you come fish that?
Yeah, it just depends where I'm at. Like a lot of that stuff. Like I would love to fish like a river tournament without live scope. Stuff like that where I can run everything and see it with my eyes. But yeah, 100% like there, I love sight fishing. So if they had it again, like where I just around sight fishing time, absolutely, I love doing that. Yeah, if it fits into the schedule, I don't see why not.
Well, I got your number now. When Alan's going to announce another tournament, I talked to him the other day. So when he does, I'm calling you. I'm going to call the Emils and all the guys around here, around Lake Lanier. Then I'm going to call you now. He's about having to go because I told him I'd keep him an hour. You got anything else? All right. Yeah. So how about you?
No, I'm good with it.
Hey, listen, Trey. Listen,
I
know
want
you
to answer his one question that he did have about live scope and taking all. I feel like for me, it's a lot of like my little bit of the edge. I feel like I can cut checks, still stuff like that for his question. I feel like a lot of it, like maybe not as high till I got like super like the little thing dialed in as much, but it is. I feel like it would definitely take a little bit of the top 10 stuff like that. I feel like it would take that down a little bit, but I definitely think I could still cut checks on stuff on like just random tournaments, fishing shallow, but like fishing shallow and like rivers, stuff like that. That's where I feel like I would excel on the shallow water stuff because that's just what I love. I love looking at a current seam, reading it, and going and fishing it. Stuff like that I really like. I really like current. But yeah, anywhere else it's like a normal lake fishing shallow. I feel like I'm always, I take my little jig and I go shallow and I go flip everything in sight and brush anything else I get around the bank. And it is, it's a good cast checker, but I would just have to figure those little things out to like go on like a Lanier or something like that without live scope because I've never done anything like that. But yeah, it would definitely be interesting.
Well, we can take him out on Lanier. We'll show you a good time afterwards too. You can't bring your mom because you might get in trouble if you hang out with us. Anything else for this young man?
No, I mean, he's had an excellent year, and just keep doing what you're doing, and don't tell any of the ladies how much you make.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. You got to keep that money, man. You got to watch them women. So, yeah. So, anyway,
yes,
listen.
Sir. I've done invested some of it.
Listen, I'm telling you what, you keep going on, and they're going to start – them yard lizards or whatever they call are going to start coming out, with the boats pull up. They're like, oh, I know that McKinney kid, baby. We know what he's doing right there. So anyway, hey, listen, I know you got to go. I appreciate you taking your time. For those of you hanging around, we're going to sit here and we're going to discuss the NPFL and the bass and everything and anything you guys want to do in the comments. And we're going to talk about it all. But, I'm just glad you came. You were one of the kids that I wanted to get on more than anybody, and I know it's took some time to get you on. And I hope, we can have you on in the future when your ass ain't out hunting or something like that, where we can spend a little more time with you. We might have to get you in, January 1st or something? When's deer season end up there? When's it end in Illinois?
When does deer season come in?
When does it come in?
Yeah.
It comes early October.
Yeah, early October, I think. But my favorite, unless I got a big one spotted, I'm usually in a duck field, but I'll usually scout for a couple, I'll watch for 2 weeks or so and then in rut. But I like to, if I don't got one that I can watch, see, understand him, and then go hunt him and kill him, I usually don't deer hunt a lot. I like that challenge of it where I see one, I pattern him, and then I go kill him. So usually if I don't see one that I'm like pattern, I see him, I hunt him, then usually I'm out duck hunting. But if not that the case, I'll be hunting him down until I get a close shot on a big one, hopefully, when I see him.
There you go. So, listen, I hope you find that buck. I hope you kill all the ducks and doves and all that in the world. But the best thing is, I appreciate you coming on. When we'll get guests on, we consider them friends and family of the show. I hope you'll consider coming on in the future. And, again, you get down here to Georgia, you already promised. I got it on camera. You got to come in here, to the studio, to the shop, where everybody can come meet you and all that. But I appreciate you spending some time with you. You got something?
Yeah, I just want to say this old farts like to call you
Absolutely.
kids.
Thanks, buddy.
But you're really a fine young man.
That means a lot from Father Time.
It is.
So there you go. Hey, appreciate you joining us tonight, kid.
Thank you, buddy. Y'all have a good night.
All right, see you. All right, so guys, that was Trey McKinney and all. Listen, I find the kid impressive as hell.
Yeah.
I find him impressive as hell.
Somebody does it.
Well, it's just the way it is. So let's do the question of the night before we get into our conversation. And guys, listen, good, bad, and different. We can argue, fuss, whatever. It's open for them. David, I still love you. Hey, we argue, but we're the kind of guys that we'll argue, and then we're gonna go out in the driveway. We'll get in a fist fight, and then we'll drink a beer afterwards and come in and we're done. So there's no hard feelings with it. Anything. What are you laughing at?
I mean, Danny said I had.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. So David, I hope you don't unsubscribe. It's been a long week. I appreciate you watching. Let's do this. Put yourselves in a 19-year-old shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You're a good angler. You make the elites.
Mm-hmm.
You're making $1,100 per damn.
You're making
$3-pounder.
$1,100 per pound. There's whatever. Think of how much crap comes at you from the old established anglers that have been around forever. You're coming in on their turf. It's just like freaking Simba and all that in The Lion King or whatever.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. One of the movies my kids watch. The old lion don't want the young lion coming in.
It'd be no different than when Kevin Van Dam went in.
Yeah.
He started off winning right away.
Yeah, and nobody likes that crap. Well, I like it.
I think it's good for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at baseball. There's some guys coming in now that are just crushing the baseball, just coming right out of AAA.
Well, think about Acuna. Everybody you either love Ronald Acuna or you hate him. You know, and so, but he just smiles and plays ball.
Yeah.
And he don't and cashes that check. He don't care.
Well, even when Kevin Van Dam came in, everybody thought he was cocky. I mean, he struggled with that for 3 years, but like those guys have enough pressure on their own because like when you first get there, you're seeing all these guys you watch growing up on TV, and now you're fishing against them. So he's got enough pressure on himself, and to do that well, he like you said, every single one of them the first year, I don't care if they were 20, 30, whatever,
no different
you got to
sport.
learn it, and you're going to figure out the hiccups of it. And but for a guy to cash a check 15 out of 18 tournaments in 2 years,
Should have been 16.
There you go. David Fernandez, I love you too, dude. That's just the way.
Look at Trent.
That's a weird Trent. Danny, your rant has been what my entire week has been like. Can I listen? I'm nobody in this industry. I am really nobody in this industry. Monday night, I did not go to sleep. Was it Monday when the NPFL announced?
Yes.
Yes.
Monday night, I did not go to sleep until 3 a.m. My phone blowed up all night long. Tuesday, it was 2-something. I told you I'd had 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep. Last night I got 5. I can't imagine what somebody in the industry is dealing with right now.
Yeah.
The phone's blowing up and all that.
Yeah.
I'm a fat guy in the middle of North Georgia that's got I think a great podcast with you guys. You guys make it great and the viewers do. But if I'm getting those calls, imagine what the pros are getting, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be insane. I would cut my phone off. Aubrey Higgins, Berry College baseball guy here. Love the baseball reference. Danny, there you go. Hey, listen, but appreciate you coming in. So here's what we're going to give away tonight. It's going to be a good bathroom break for me because I got to pee. So what we're going to give away, you guys remember we came back from iCast with these load lights right here. And what this is, it is that light that when you back your trailer down in, it's got a float switch. It just glows, a LED light one way and back so that the boater knows the trailer is ready to be pulled up on. And the guy backing it down knows he's got the right depth. You got one.
I got one.
You got one. It works. To me, this was one of the best products at iCast right here. So Kevin's going to read the question 2 times. And I'm going to try to pee as fast as I can. So if I'm not back, y'all got to carry the conversation.
You got it.
You ready, Blake?
You ready, Blake? All right, guys. So the first person in the comment section that gets, is it just one answer?
It's just one answer.
One answer.
And it's easy so you can get the light.
And I will, we didn't give it away last time.
That's why I made it easy.
You made it easy. All right. I will ship it to you unless you just want to come up here and pick it up. So you guys get ready. Question of the week from Kevin off the back of the boat.
Hurry up because I'm next.
Here we go. Who is considered the father of Japanese bass fishing? Once again, who is considered the father of Japanese bass fishing?
I can't even pronounce that.
We could go at it.
Oh, gosh. We got to hear you say the name, not me.
I guess the same thing.
No,
Nope.
y'all all wrong. Y'all guessing wrong already. That's a long time ago. Yamamoto probably wasn't even born.
Hey, don't give me any clues. Why don't you just tell them what it is? Spell it for them.
Man,
I'm literally sitting
Matthew
there.
Smith, he got it.
holy smokes.
I told you somebody would get it. It wasn't that hard.
That's pretty quick.
1925.
3, 4.
All right, go ahead and read the paragraph off, too.
It's believed that he snuck in 75 fingerling and 3 adult bass to Lake Ashishiko In an effort to restore the ecological balance of the fishery and to help it recover from pollution, overfishing, and dam construction issues. He was an avid fisherman while attending the University of Pennsylvania. And he had money.
They got it already?
Yeah.
Who won?
Matthew Smith.
Matthew Smith. Well,
Well, you're
congratulations.
in there saying, no, it's older than that. He gave him clues. But
Oh,
Matthew,
Blake did.
Yeah.
Blake gave him clues.
Yeah.
All right, so
but Matthew figured it out.
okay, so put the camera on me there, Blake. Matthew, I need you to go to Facebook.
Bam, Googling some
If
bitches.
you're on Facebook, message me, Danny Pruitt, directly. Give me your address and all that, and I will send you the boatload made easy, loadlight.com. And listen, J.R. Mitchell, damn, Googling something, but yes. Good. Listen,
The name is Tetsuma Akaboshi.
Akaboshi.
Yeah. You want to say it?
Hell no, I can't even say right. They were making fun of me at
But
saying
Matthew
that.
got it right. That's all that matters.
Matthew got it right. So Gary Yamamoto, I'm looking at the answers now. That was pretty quick. I wasn't even done peeing.
I told you I made it easy so we can get rid of that light.
You know, I got an old man prostate, but I was like, dang, that was quick. All right, so good. So Matthew, hey, appreciate it. All right, so guys, let's do this. Okay. Now we're with the common man. We don't have a Bassmaster Elite guy with us. Look, hell, damn, Matthew's quick. He's done sent me his address and all that.
He wants that light.
Listen, he wants that light. You live in Cumming, you got to come see us. But anyway, so let's do this. Not even on the first page of Google results, LOL. So there you go. All right, so let's do this. So now we're just common men here. There's no Bassmaster Elites. There's no NPFL guys. Let's talk about a common man's perspective on what's going on with the sport. Now, the TAA, because Alan was watching today, I'm going to tell you what, the TAA is different. The TAA is set up more as like a pot tournament, whereas the entry fees, it's a no forward-facing sonar stuff. Got it. But it's a 100% payback tournament. Alan got a good job. Alan don't need your money. So, you know, he throws on a tournament, and that's the cool thing about the TAA. 100% of the entry fees goes right back to the angler. So anybody that wants to bring up the TAA, understand that. I think it's outstanding. I love the way he set it up, and I can't wait to broadcast his next event.
It's just less expensive, isn't it?
There's no expense. I think the only expense he has was that guy that came in and does
Tournament director.
Yeah, the tournament.
director.
Yeah, that's the only expense I know of.
And you know what? He needs me to do it. Not tournament director, announcer. So when that other gentleman retires, let me do the weigh-in. It'll get a lot more entertaining like that. So Big Al's in here. There you go from the NPFL. Pam Anderson for the Thursday night show. So now, listen,
Amen.
I got some older guys here. So we talked about this on Tuesday night with those young kids, and they didn't even know who the hell Pam Anderson was. So Kevin, Pam Anderson, scale of 1 to 10.
10.
Is this before Tommy Lee or after Tommy Lee? Because he did some damage.
I'd still say 10 afterwards.
Have you seen that video?
I sent you the before and after picture this week.
Listen, Pam Anderson before Tommy Lee, I'll give you that. After Tommy Lee, I don't
At our
know.
age?
At our age? What do you mean at our age? What the hell do you mean at our age? At our age, you're 20 years older than I am.
But you look as old as I do.
I feel as old as you do too. Listen, let me tell you, the only woman for me is Amanda Pruitt right there.
And Terry Thornton.
And Terry Thornton.
Absolutely.
And then
Love you, baby.
and listen, and I told you when you died, if Terry needed me to take care of her, I would. I could do that for you because I love you. Just let you know she'll be in good hands.
I'll keep that in mind.
Right here. Right. I'm kidding. Look at Ken get died.
Oh, boy.
So all right, Tommy Lee ruined that.
He's only
thing.
had one beer, babe.
Yeah, well, that's it. So okay, Pam Anderson.
9.
9. I will say this. He said this the other night.
Yeah.
It was Baywatch Pam. That was a heck of an intro. How many 13-year-old boys had that on back and forth? They were rewinding back and forth like that. So appreciate you joining us tonight. So dang, I thought you was ready to trick or treat. I have some bigger names heading that way that like to fish old school ways. I see some bigger names. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. I know a lot of people will drop off because the superstars left, but it's just for us, it's left. Let's fill the rest of the night with this. Let's take the NPFL. Bandit. Now, Big Al's, Jennifer Aniston's still looking good. I got to say this. I had a guy in the shop the other day that told me Jennifer Aniston was actually a man. This guy went on for 10 minutes saying it's some kind of Satanist cult that Raquel Welch, Jennifer Aniston, and another guy, some other of these really good-looking women, they're all men.
I want what he's smoking.
You want what he's smoking? Dude, and he's very serious. And he's a good guy, but he swears to God Jennifer Aniston is a man.
Bullshit.
I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll leave it right there.
I'm with you.
She went from a Crystal Burger to Arby's Classic Beef. Well, hell, wouldn't you? All right. So anyway, NPFL. Now, let me be honest. Big Al was watching. I talked to Big Al that night. I got friends with the NPFL. Some really good. So when that first got announced, I got mad. I'll just be straight honest. Not mad. I got upset because I got friends with it. So I had the triggered emotional response that I have since kind of quelled and sat back and looked at it from a purely business decision. And I think it's, I hate it for some of the guys, but whether they leave or stay, I don't know. Probably a good business move for them guys.
Yep.
And I respect Big Al and Paul Benson and Brad Fuller. And Brad Fuller's took a lot of shit this week, a lot of tough questions and all. But they did make a decision and they stuck with it. So what's your opinion of it?
For the NPFL, I think it was the best move that I've seen because we want something different. We need, matter of fact, I talked about this with somebody in the industry, that we need to get back to where these anglers realize that they are a brand. They need to be entertaining. And that's going to draw in more people watching. We still remember, I'll tell you this, when Bassmaster did the Open on Leech Lake, the one thing where I was bored out of my mind, and then Emil Wagner is throwing a frog in the grass.
Yeah.
And they went right to him, and I was just hoping that one would just slam it.
Yeah.
We remember Larry Nixon's big catch. And if you go back and look and say, name the top 5 guys that were entertaining on TV during a tournament, you'd have to go back pretty far. I mean, there's guys now that do a good job of
Trey McKinney,
talk to you,
Seth Potter.
But it's not like it used to be. So for MPFL, I think it's a smart move. I think they're going to get a lot of guys going over there. And when that coverage is them guys, these guys can still catch them deep. They can Carolina rig deep. They can do whatever they want. But to watch those fish catches, that's what we want to see.
So you're going to sit there and say that watching them at Lake Fork this year. Oh,
look at them ugly ass legs. Get up there. What the hell are you doing?
You're going to sit here and say that watching them at Lake Fork was not entertaining this year.
When you see them catch the big fish, and if Lee is catching them on the top water, and it's different. Like when you see them catching, I know Trey and those guys use the jig minnow, but when they're actually excited and pulling up a 8-pound fish, and you see that excitement versus when they're using a jig minnow and culling 3-pounders, and they're not really saying anything. Like Robert Gio's patting the smallies on the belly, made it entertaining.
Yeah.
So we need to bring that entertainment piece back.
I don't think it's going to do anything on the entertainment value. Well, you might see somebody throwing a frog or a jig. It's still going to be the same. It's still going to be the same fish catches.
It's their
and everything.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's saying is
But you still see the personality.
You still see. Well, yeah, but I'll be honest. Some of
watch Seth Fighterfish. He's always talking. Zaldane's the same way. He's always talking, giving information.
But here's the thing. That's true. But their asses have got to get in the top 10. They got to be in the top 10 of the tournament towards the end to make it. I mean,
the last tournament, Seth Fighter was flipping, catching giants, and he was. I
agree. Yeah, he was, and that was getting people like that. But
right.
So with the NPFL, you get personality matters because at the end of the day, you're just watching a guy cast. I get that, but for the whole product as a whole, not everybody's Seth Fighter.
Right.
But that's on them.
It is. I get it. And that's the thing is
that's like people got in the boat with me and you.
Yeah.
We're going to make people laugh because that's how much bullshit have we done when we're in the boat together?
I agree, but not everybody's me and you.
Exactly. You can't change somebody's personality, whether forward facing sonar or not.
So do you only put the cameras in the boats of the guys with the personality?
No, you keep the camera in the boat with the top 10 leaders. It don't matter if they don't say a word all day or they give you as much information as you want. If I'm watching bass fishing, I want to see the leaders. I want to see what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing. I want to watch and learn what they are doing.
Okay, I get that. Hey,
I don't care. The entertainment value is seeing who's winning and how they're catching them. And I'm you know what? Everybody else gets the damn rant. All these some bitches that fishing's boring to watch. Who wants to stare at them? We've talked about it every day we're here. When you stare at their ass, it doesn't matter what they're doing. You're going to keep staring at a man's ass on the front of a boat. It don't matter if he's jigging. It don't matter if he's throwing a jigging minnow. You had guys throwing jerk baits, catching 10-pounders this year, and people were still bitching. I love throwing a jerk bait. Forward, sonar or not. Catching a damn 10-pounder on a jerk bait. What's better than that for me? Okay? Seth Fighter out throwing a frog up there in Wisconsin or wherever the hell they were.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing much of nothing. All of a sudden, you see the camera. Oh, it rolls up on. He reels in. Oh, shit. Did you see that? Throws it back in there. Jerks it twice. You're still going to see that. The thing with it is, if you want entertaining tournaments, set it up where people can go shallow. Put them on the bank during the spawn, and what's everybody going to be doing?
Okay.
Shallow
fishing.
fishing.
But you can't fish shallow on all these lakes. It don't play. It don't play on all these lakes.
But if these tournament trails would rotate tournaments more, you wouldn't see as much forward face sonar, I feel like.
That's what Bass is going to do.
Supposedly.
Right.
Well, that's
How
what
long have they said they was going back to California? When's the last California tournament they've had?
Blake's stuck on that California tournament.
No, because it's serious.
He don't even fish.
No, but I keep up with it.
He's a squirrel dog, man.
I am. I like my squirrel dogs.
Fish and run a tackle
But
shop.
if you take like Patrick Walters,
Patrick Walters does have a nice butt, and he wears those short shorts.
He's excellent at it, but when they say you're live, he's talking and educating and doing something. Where sometimes when you say, "Hey, you're live," and that guy ain't saying anything, that's boring as crap.
I get that.
So
And there's
I don't
plenty of
care
guys
what
like
lure
that.
you're using, but when you're live, start talking.
Yeah, well, that's on the anglers.
Yeah.
So for the NPFL,
Personality.
the biggest thing is the personality. You think the personality, even and above, no forward facing sonar. Even if they kept forward facing sonar, we just needed more personality to make
absolutely.
It's going to be the
And
same.
That applies to the Bass Pro Tour, Bassmaster, whatever. There's a group of guys, and the ones that talk make it entertaining. And I know they're trying to focus and everything else, but when Hackney, you get him out there and he's flipping jigs, he's still talking and trying to do what he's doing. But there might be times where he might just say, "Hey, leave me alone. I need to focus."
Right.
And as long as those parameters are in there that, hey, he's in the mood to do it, let's do it. Turn his camera on and let's fly.
Yeah, I get it.
And let's
I've
keep
never seen
it
him do
exciting
it.
for the fans.
It's like Iaconelli. He used to jump around and scream and holler.
I hated it.
Watch it.
He went too far.
But it's entertaining, and I liked it. I got to the point where I liked the guy. I like to watch him fish because he talks about what he's doing.
Yeah.
He tells you. He's
Yeah.
not afraid to show the bait. Most of the time, then hook that fish and flip it over the side of the boat so fast, you don't know what they're throwing.
You see what Cletus said right here? Bassmaster has the best live coverage out of any of these other products. I don't care what they say.
Okay, I get
They
you
do.
that. They do.
You do.
But you got to understand, too, now, the NPFL is a growing league. Bassmaster's been around for 3 or 4 decades.
But they still have that twang like we were seeing tonight
Mm-hmm.
with Trey, where you can't understand sometimes because they're out of range and stuff.
I got that. So that would be a suggestion if they're watching.
But see, one thing Bassmaster does, if their guys are having bad coverage, they put it on somebody else. They don't sit there and keep trying to get the camera to work.
But again, I think that's from the ability of being around so much and having the funds to do that. That costs. I can tell you right now what it costs. With some of the stuff we do with these cameras,
Well,
it ain't cheap.
Let's talk.
Right there.
Let's
Which
talk.
one? Pull up
Lip sticker.
lip sticker. Let me read this. They should be obligated to talk when the camera is on, forward sonar or not. People watch because they want to learn something. Other than that, fishing is pretty boring to watch.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. All these people that are saying it's boring to watch, it's boring to watch. Okay, then you ain't got to watch. It's going to be boring whether they're staring at their graphs, watching forward-facing sonar, or they're up flipping a dock. You're flipping a jig at docks. You're not going to catch a fish every flip, every piling, every single dock. You're not. So people, well, hell, he ain't caught a fish on 30 docks. Meanwhile, guys over here forward-facing sonar, He might be catching one every other cast, but this is boring. He's catching a fish every cast because he's got 4-face sonar. I'd rather watch that than a guy go down 30 docks before he catches a fish if I'm watching on TV.
I think
Stick me on Chickamauga with a jig. I'll skip 60 docks and I'll finally catch a 3-pounder. And I'm like, that's the best bite I've had all day. But if I'm watching on TV, give me the action. I don't want to watch no soap opera, no damn love movie bullshit. Nobody skipping 60 docks before they catch a fish. I want action.
I got it there.
And people's, it's going to be better to watch. You watch. People will still be complaining at the end of this year.
Well, so
guarantee.
That's the one thing that the complainers are going to complain no matter what.
He just said though a minute ago that if they don't catch a fish off those 3 or 4 docks, they go to somewhere else where they are catching a fish.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see 60 docks being flipped.
Yeah, but I can't keep up with half of what Blake said. He went on there, so I get it. But I understand that now. So okay, so NPFL.
Mm-hmm.
They made the decision. We're going to go with it. What are you laughing at? What Kurt we hunt? Blake sounded like Homer Simpson.
I'm just stating facts. People are still, you watch.
Is it facts or is it your opinion?
No, it's going to be facts.
It's
I will lay $100 down.
That's what he said.
People will say, well, it's still boring to watch it on TV. Don't matter what they're doing.
But these facts are going to occur in the future.
Yes.
That's because it's going to happen.
Okay, so no, listen. I agree with you, but listen, the NPFL has made the bed.
Yeah.
So let's just say you ain't gonna see no Sonar. So they're gonna tweak their schedule, hopefully, to do this. But if you had a suggestion, I think our suggestions would be with the coverage. And again, I think that's something they'll grow into as they progress as an organization.
Yeah.
Like I said,
commercial.
Huh?
And the commercial.
You did that was your one thing. Was that your complaint or your complaint? The commercials and they go. You can't hear.
So I like the commercials, but when you get to that last
top 10 or so,
top 10, top 25, I really want to hear Al. But
I do
like when is it like this last tournament? There was like somewhere around 11 or something. A commercial started, and then there's like 5 of them, and then all of a sudden we're at number 4. Well, I didn't hear 5 through 10.
Or
because I got to wait for that series of commercials. So if they can just kind of postpone some of those commercials to like different buckets within the win, but not the last group.
I will say that, yeah, okay, I agree with you.
The timing of them just needs
to
be
being in the entertainment industry.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay. When are the most people watching?
At the end.
That's business wise. That's why those commercials come on right there. But I get it.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I get that. It's all about the commentator. And guys, if I missed your comment, put it back up because the comments are going through pretty quick right now. Christopher Brown says it's all about the commentators. There's ones that make it entertaining. Take Zona when he's commentating the tournament. It's so much more entertaining, no matter what the link.
Yep.
They need to hire me and Blake.
That's one thing. Okay, that's one thing I'll say about Bassmaster. You got Tommy Sanders up there. I like Tommy. Tommy's all right. I'll listen to Tommy.
He's a little dry though.
Listen, I'm gonna piss some people off.
Oh Lord. Hold on a second. Let me give a disclaimer. Put it on me.
Hold on. Put
it on me. No, this is my business. The views expressed by Blake Buchanan, not necessarily those of Fish North Georgia and its associates or affiliates. Anything that comes out of his damn mouth right now, don't be calling me. I will text me and I'll give you his number. It is not Fish North Georgia's fault as to what's getting ready to happen. All right, Blake, now on you.
Okay. We're talking commentaries, right?
Yeah. Hey, put the camera on you. Get it off of me.
It is on. Oh.
Get it off of me.
I have not watched a single MLF tournament because, I don't like the format. And
MLF sucks.
Sorry for saying that at Fish North Georgia. We do not condone in that.
I can't.
That come from Danny Pruitt, not me. So, MLF, I haven't watched any of it. The only reason I've caught an NPSF, however you say it, a long-ass abbreviated formation, is because the guy up there in Tennessee who has the podcast. What's his name?
I don't know.
The guy does the podcast.
For who?
NLPF or PLF.
Come on, Duncan?
That's the only reason I've watched that, and I've watched one tournament just because I like Duncan. Okay?
Hold on a second. Is Duncan better than me?
Commentating tournaments, but you ain't never done that on live TV.
They need to let me do it. But okay.
You would be great because you're entertaining. It's the entertainment fact like we're talking about. Okay, going back to Bass. Tommy Sanders, he's a good guy. Like listening to him. You got Ronnie Moore. Stay on the board of knowledge.
I better not get a damn phone call.
Look, I like
tomorrow
Ronnie.
from Bass.
Listen, I like Ronnie. I've talked to him on Instagram. Good guy. Stay on the board of knowledge. Dude, talk all the fantasy bass fishing you want. I like fantasy bass fishing. Stay right there.
It's not my lack of fantasy.
Okay.
There.
You got Dave. Yes, Dave won Bassmaster Classic and everything. Push him on somewhere. If it was Mark Zona all day, every day on Bass Live,
You'd watch it.
I watch it anyways
But you would
because
think
I
it'd be
enjoy
more
it.
entertaining.
Yes, because Mark
He is
Zona is the
entertaining.
character. It's like watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's like the Undertaker. Stone Cold's, I'm gonna drink a beer. Yeah. You got Undertaker, just stands there, not saying nothing. I want the guy who's going to talk
What the hell are we talking about
and
wrestling on
be
my
entertaining.
podcast?
It's the entertaining factor. When
do
it
you
comes
watch
to
wrestling?
live bass fishing, the entertainment factor.
Who the hell watches wrestling?
I do.
It shows.
It's real to me, damn it.
It's real to you. But listen, and I
That's a
don't
fact.
listen. I know we're having fun. I know we're having fun. But again, like so, Joshua Wolf says, "Give me Robert G. Johnston Brothers drama every Derby." You know, when Gussie was on, remember I kind of brought up like, you guys should handle your stuff like baseball used to let people do. You can't, if somebody hits your player now, you can't throw at them because you get kicked out of the game. I think they should quit that crap. I just think maybe Bass should let the guys handle a little bit, all of them. But with the NPFL, again, love the guys. I don't want Brad Fuller calling me up fussing at me. But so just our one thing is if we could tweak the entertainment as far as the visual viewing on television, you think it would be much more successful?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody needs to be more entertaining, more educational, talk when the camera's on.
And they need to hire
And
me.
then
And better
you might
commentators.
be impressed how much TV time you get to help your sponsors, and you might get more money.
Isn't that how they make money? By them being a character, correct?
Yeah, hell, I don't make shit.
No, I'm saying like going to professional people, they've always say,
What are you laughing at? I'm serious. I'm broke, and I'm pretty funny.
but
Yes, you are.
is they always say, okay, it's not what the company can do for me, it's what I can do for the company. If you're a character and people enjoy watching you and what you're saying on live, what you're saying on your Instagram, Facebook, any kind of videos and stuff like that, if you're a character, you're going to make that brand more money, right?
Yeah, I guess. Depends.
So I'm saying.
Right now, we're probably losing possible sponsorships.
Well,
We probably lost money in the last 10 minutes, but that's
Yeah.
all right.
you kick. I'll stay off. I'll go back to the hill.
No,
Blake,
you're
find somebody
good.
else.
No, I'm not talking about just you.
With forward-facing sonar, what baits are they using other than a jerk bait, a minnow style bait,
Listen,
or a drop shot?
I'm not talking about selling baits.
What are we
It
selling?
could be sunglasses, clothing, anything.
Non-endemics.
What?
That's a big word for you Marlboro Hill people, meaning anything outside of the industry.
Whatever.
Like, look, Granger. Granger is not a fishing company.
Toyota.
Toyota is not a fishing company. Anything like
All
Strike
right.
King is in the industry.
Yeah.
Trying to get those non-endemics in, I get it. Which Progressive Insurance, NPFL has Progressive, even though you can cover your boat, but that's really that's not
Progressive.
1099 marketing expense for the organizations to make money is the real definition. I think you got called an ass kisser by Drew. Drew has probably been drinking for a while. Eric B. Richards, inside boat cameras like inside a car on NASCAR. Let the viewers choose, and even if it isn't an HD badass camera. And I think
That's a hell of a.
Drew Patterson just called you a Democrat.
Not me. He ain't talking about me.
He's
Stone Cold is my favorite. He's talking about y'all not liking wrestling. Okay? That ain't about me. Yeah.
He came fully loaded.
He came fully loaded back there.
Dude,
Baby,
listen,
I like it. I like the attitude.
Listen,
Listen, I'm gonna go home in a good mood regardless. 'Cause
okay.
we
I am too. I'm going to get,
He's probably gonna walk.
Danny, I love you.
I love you too.
I love doing
No Brokeback Mountain. though.
No, yes. I love coming down here helping y'all out.
Yeah.
But damn at the effing drama this crap brings up. Forward facing sonar. No sonar. I'm tired of hearing it. It is ridiculous. It's every single day. It's every show.
Yeah.
It's everything. It doesn't matter what these companies do. People are going to bitch no matter what.
So why don't go ahead and talk about Fort Basin Sonar then if they're gonna fuss anyway?
I don't
You
know.
see my point?
Yeah, I
And
see the
here's the
point.
thing. Here's the thing. Now listen though. People are fussing about forward-facing sonar. Yeah. What are you talking about right this second?
People bitching about it because I'm tired of bitching about it.
We're talking about forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
It's the
it gets
elephant
brought
that you
up.
can't get out of the room.
No.
Okay.
And what's
so,
the next big thing going to happen?
Well,
What if they turn 360 where it's a 364 facing sonar?
So I've heard or read a little bit today that there are guys that have learned to tweak a 360 to basically where it is live.
Oh gosh,
Oh.
you better take the
All right.
horse to the damn
listen,
shed and shoot it.
So listen, NPFL, we love you. We support you. Sorry, I got mad at you guys the other night. I did, I did. I talked to Big
You see
Al
what
for a while.
Alex Press said right
I
there?
see what he says.
I like that.
It is. and
That
that's in
should
the
be a
comment section.
T-shirt.
I get it. But let's so NPFL, the only thing we as consumers of your product would like to see is on the TV side. Yes, no.
Yeah, I mean that.
In all honesty, being all serious.
That and the anglers that
Make them talk.
make them talk, because that's only going to help them. It's going to help the organization. And anything Brad said this week on, like, I think 2 different podcasts, he's a straight shooter.
He is a straight shooter.
And there ain't nothing there that he didn't say that didn't make sense.
No, it's true.
And most of the other people, if you go look at 40,000 different posts that were done this week, the Bassmaster guys, they all agreed with what NPFL doing because it separates them, makes them different,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to draw something. But I don't care if you fish whatever you fish. Let's get back to entertaining the crowd, and that's where you're going to benefit yourself and the organization as a whole.
I think
That's where the industry makes money. It's off of
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
not off of the fishermen.
I think if we'd go back to like what we talked about earlier, change the lakes up. Go to different lakes. And what Bass did a couple years ago when they did it's where you got your Bassmaster, like you got a berth, and it was kind of like a bracket, and they fished it up on Carter's and Nickajack.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd y'all take that away? That's drama.
I guess I see what you're saying.
That gains views.
I see what you're saying. All right, okay, so let's jump to Bass. Now, Bass came out. Of course, everybody in the world knows it, so we don't have to repeat it. Change the rules a little.
Yeah,
A little.
Yeah.
Screen limit, okay. Still can have forward-facing sonar. Take away the back brakes.
Look what Lipsticker said.
I put money on this. I find more fish with side scan than you'll ever find with forward-facing sonar. And I can tell you, I've been on the boat with him.
And he's correct.
I believe that 100%. All right, so Bass, right move, indifferent, don't care about it. You guys, I mean, Kevin, what do you feel? You've been around since.
I think there's too much money coming in from the sponsors on Bass to make any big changes right now.
So did they
The
chicken out?
advertisement,
Do you think they wanted to and they didn't because the electronics companies put pressure on them?
not just electronics. I think the advertisers put pressure on them. Your hard bait company certainly put pressure on them
Because the changing,
to make the change.
Right. Yeah. I mean, do you think, okay, how about, let me just, a yes or no answer. All 3 of you can answer. Did Bass basically just kind of cave to the pressure from their sponsors instead of really doing what they wanted to do?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you, yes or no, do you agree with what Bass did in their changes? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Blake.
I'm gonna say no. I mean,
Okay,
this is the thing, you're still gonna see the top guys that we're doing this year probably gonna be up there again next year.
Okay. All right. If you were in charge of making rules for Bass, what would you have done, Kevin?
I'd probably follow just the whole thing. One unit up front, 2 on the dash, or 2 up front, 1 on the back. I don't know if I'd have gone any more than 36 inches. 1 live scope.
But people's been running 4 to 5 units for 10 years now.
So you would have done kind of what they did. You'd limited it. Just to one.
Limited to start with.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't think you can cut it out because where's their payout going to come from if they don't have all this advertising money?
Yeah.
I think that's what people don't realize is how much money
Oh,
the sonar companies are bringing to Bass.
well, the other thing is how much money is being held back from the fishermen by Bass or MLF or anybody else.
What do you
'Cause
mean?
that
What do you
topic
mean by
hasn't
that?
Really come up before.
Well, we talked about again, like when Patrick Walters and all them were on that one night, and Drew Cook and all that. One thing I asked them what changed, if they could make one change in professional fishing. It had nothing to do with forward-facing sonar equipment. Anything. It was the payouts.
Since 1997.
For so long, it's been $100,000 a year, and their costs have gone up exponentially.
Inflation.
Entry fees have.
Yeah, everything. Guys, how does banning forward? And again, if I missed a question from you guys earlier, put it back on there. Trent wants to know, guys, how does banning forward-facing sonar make fish go back to traditional covering tactics? That's what I don't understand about any of this. Banning it doesn't magically make the fish flood the bank and eat a plug. Now I believe Milliken kind of covered that a little bit. Didn't he?
Said there's fish going back to the bank because they're getting so pressured.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, that's a question, Trent. I don't know the answer. I'm not educated enough to answer that. But
no,
I don't know. But
he's right.
You think?
I think some of the fish moved out because of the pressure.
So
I
you
don't
think
those big fish survive to get as big as they are by knowing I'm just going to live here.
There's always been fish out deep.
Always has.
Yeah. We've never fished one before.
Right.
Well,
So
like when
we started going out there, we started seeing groups of them, and then you just got to find the ones that are in the right mood, and that made it a little bit easier than making 3,000 casts with a jig on a bank, you know, and literally like some things came out. Do I think the weights will be less? Yes.
do you
Robert Brett says, I think there should be two divisions, one being regular fishing and the other being a pro division with forward-facing sonar.
That's what there's about to be, but it's going to be a pro division with and pro division without.
But it's kind of, I mean, again, I think you got to put a dollar sign on all this. What's the expenses to run two trails?
Yep.
What's the expenses to run two trails?
Well,
sponsors that only have, I can tell you this because we're trying to get it for the TV show. They set their budgets, whether they start January 1st or December 31st or April to, back to April, they set their budgets with X amount of dollars in sponsorship money. All big companies do that. They go ahead and they make a plan on where each dollar is going to. So if you now split it into two trails, are you going to go say a company's got $1 million? Are they going to put 500,000 in one, 500,000 in the other? Are they going to go to $1 million to one and zero to the other? Those are things I think the guys have to think about. And I'm not that high up of a businessman, but when you think some of that comes into play, you got to have sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now is for co-anglers, they do get screwed. And so,
now BFL is different.
Yeah,
I agree with the ban on BFL.
So anything where I think you got a co-angler,
yes,
absolutely.
I'm going to lean that way. That to make it more fair, grow the sport, whatever it is.
Yes,
then I'm okay with that. But
at the same time, would you lose boaters then? Because right now the BFLs have a problem of not getting enough co-anglers. Correct.
Yeah,
okay.
Even Bassmaster on the opens.
Okay, on opens. So if you ban it,
terrible.
Well, that's it. But if you ban it in anything that has a co-angler, are now you in danger of losing boaters?
Well, go back to what you just said. They can't get enough co-anglers.
Co-anglers.
Because they're all using forward-facing sonar. So they won't stand a chance. Why am I going to go out there and pay my money to sit in the back of the boat and not know where to throw?
For sure. No, I agree with you. And that's why I think they should ban it on those levels. Now, that might not be popular with a lot of guys around here, but for the fairness, I've never liked, and I love the guys with the ABA. The only thing I don't like about the ABA is the co-anglers competing against the boater. There's not a co-angler division, and it's because they don't get enough co-anglers that they can't. So it's not their fault.
Right.
But in a BFL situation, I sure as hell wouldn't spend my money unless the only reason I was a co-angler is to go out there and learn what in the hell the boater was doing.
Yep.
Which is what a lot of guys use a BFL for.
Okay.
It's a learning thing. They know they're going to go out there, they're going to get backboated, but they're learning, I hate to say it, they're learning spots.
Uh-huh.
They're watching what the guy up front's doing. So it just depends on how you approach the BFL. If you're making your mortgage payment as a co-angler or trying to make your mortgage payment as a co-angler in a BFL, you probably should do something else.
Yeah. I mean, I met Alan under a bridge at the Harris chain.
Alan Brooks?
Yeah. I was just sitting in the back of the boat, and my guy's fishing a brush pile out there, and Alan pulled along. And that's how we found out we were both from Canton. And I'm just sitting there. I could only make so many casts.
He used to run
stuck under a bridge. And
So, yeah, Alex Purse says, why don't co-anglers bring a modular system they can drop over the edge of the boat and use it? I think some of them do now. Some do that. They do that. And that's Alan. That's why I said earlier about the TAA that it's different because 100% payback. It's set up more as a pot tournament, and that's what I think. When you get the NPFL and the Bass and the MLF, now you got corporate. Well, NPFL is smaller, but they're corporations or whatever the hell, however the hell they're set up. So there's a lot of other stuff they got to do. I think the fish we are seeing out in the open are these damn words pelagic fish that have always been out there for years. We've just always fished for the residential fish or seasonal movement fish. JR, I agree with you. I agree. I think that's right. And then John says, yes, some co-anglers are bringing their own portable units with them. Okay, then you eliminate that. So BFL, I think we can all agree, or anything set up similar to a BFL with co-anglers, a ban's okay. Total ban on
Anything
forward
with
facing.
co-angler, I think.
Anything, I agree with that because co-anglers paying their money. Now, if I did that, I would say you might have to bump up. Do co-anglers pay the same as a boater?
No.
Okay, so now if you're going to even that
And they
playing
bring
field,
less, in Bassmaster, you bring less fish. So you only have to bring three.
three. Okay, all right, I got that. So, lip sticker, co-angler, Kevin, let me just say, Underwood. Co-anglers in the BFL is a learning deal. Certain lakes, they are still going to be in the middle of the lake, forward-facing sonar or not, 100%. And that's what I was saying. It all depends on how you're approaching as a co-angler the BFL. If you're trying to make your mortgage payment, you want it banned.
Yeah.
If you're not and you're out there to learn, 100% get that.
But every co-angler needs to look at it that way. You're there to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had tournaments where literally, I stopped fishing 2 hours before the thing was done. Both pros said, "What the heck are you doing?" And I said, "I didn't want to be that guy." Like, I've had it before where I'm up on the front and the co-angler catches a 4-pounder with like an hour and a half left.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. And I was like, I'm here to learn, so I'm going to stop the last 2 hours. And I did that out of respect because I was trying to learn. I wanted to see what they were actually doing. And, did I think I was going to win or whatever it was? That wasn't my intent.
Right. So you approached it a different way.
Yeah.
So, and Trent's comment right there. Now, listen, Trent, that's again, I kind of agree with you on that too. BFL total ban would lose more boaters than gain. A ton of guys have invested in technology fishing at that level. So it's kind of with the BFL, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a pickle because we've already went so far down the road. But like some other people have said, you go to Gunnersville or wherever it is, you're going to stare at side scan for a long time.
Right.
Because we're going to wait until we find the right group of fish on the right ledge or whatever we're doing. And you're going to want to fit. And that lake it's still frustrating sometimes because you're going miles and miles just looking for that right group of fish. And you're not even guaranteed the group you find are in the mood to bite. And then you got to go to the next group.
Kind of like a Saturday night on the town.
Yeah, you're spending so much time on side scan and using other electronics before you jump to the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Pandora box opened a long time ago. And I agree. So, in reality, listen how we're just on BFLs.
Yeah.
Now, if we get into these national things.
I mean, they could drop the entry fee for the co-angler and say, look, you guys are here to learn. I like what Bassmaster does. You only got to bring 3 to the scale and make it more affordable. And your boater's there to teach you.
I think Drew Patterson is hitting the brown stuff tonight. Everyone watches G-Man. His number is on the bathroom wall at Quick Trip. Drew came up here earlier. I think he went home and he hammered some. So I had the original PS31 Panoptics in 2016. Been out in the wild way too long.
Yep.
Kurt Wehunt says Kevin, and he's saying that was the initial. I guess he's talking to Underwood lipsticker fishing. Kevin, that was the initial selling point to being a co-angler all the way back to my Redman days. It's become a semi-pro competition just out of someone else's boat. Social media egos created this.
He's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
Kurt can be smart every once in a while. He's a good dude. I hope your back's feeling better, dude, or whatever.
I've had co-anglers ask me if we can go over somewhere so they can do like a selfie and film a video real quick. Go knock yourself out. Let's put over there and you do your little thing. We're taking off in 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes to get them duck lips out.
And so do your little Facebook social media thing. I get it. And I don't mind helping them and let them do it, but we're going to change gears
Real quick.
once the boat number's yelled.
Good deal. He's doing better. And Drew wants to see my feet, so now I know he's drinking.
Yeah.
So I retired them feet. That was a one-off, one-night thing. I got in so much trouble from my wife when I got home after that show. What in the hell are you doing? okay, so Bass, so we kind of figured NPFL, great, good band, good for your business, work on your TV.
Yeah.
Bass, I think everybody can agree they're just middle of the road. I know Trey Zaldana she don't agree with anything they do, but she didn't like it. But I mean,
That's
I
just a
think
They're
woman.
testing the waters.
testing the waters. Well, even listen,
but
even
what
the
brought him to
NPFL
that
could
point?
switch it back.
What brought them to that point to test the waters?
You think it was pressure?
I don't know. How do you know?
I don't. But you know one thing, I've seen so many people in the comments saying this is a win for Randy Blockett with the NPFL and all that.
He gonna make $1 million off it.
You know what? Yeah, but here's the thing. Watch this. Say if all the pro Randy makes his money, because it certainly sure as hell ain't fishing now. He don't win that often now.
No.
He's on YouTube. He needs X amount of views because you get paid per 1,000 views generated, your CPM and all that. What happens when there's nothing to fuss about? Now you got to go fuss about something else. What are you going to fuss about now?
He's just going to go back and showing you what he learned
He
16 years ago.
But they don't watch his videos, and he's even said this.
From Ken Pruitt.
He can't.
That's how you cut a jig skirt.
He can't get views. He can't get views on how to do a Texas rig. He said it
does.
himself. Huh?
He does. He still does it.
He does, but he don't get the views. He'll get 1,000 views on that video. He'll get 28,000 views if he says.
If everything's banned like you're saying, yeah, it's going to hurt him.
It'll hurt a lot of guys because a lot of guys, you know, the guys I'm talking about. You see them on TikTok. You see them on Instagram, Facebook. Now there's a group of guys whose business model right now, they are the TMZ of fishing. They're going to report anything, whether it's true or not. They're going to say anything, or they're going to complain about everything.
Alabama Bass Council.
What did you say?
What's it? Slick Johnson's always like the Alabama Bass Council.
I get along with Slick, so I ain't going to say nothing bad about Slick because Lord knows I don't want to be the butt of one of his videos.
Slick, I follow him on TikTok and everything. He's more interested. All right, well, why did this guy get in trouble this tournament and stuff? He's not really fussing about the forward page.
No, he don't fuss as much. No,
he's more of like, all right, well, what rules were broken? Why did that happen? Why did this guy get kicked out of the tournament? You know?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Listen, Slick's he's having a lot of fun though.
Yeah,
hell,
I would be too.
But you got guys that their YouTube channels would disappear tomorrow if there wasn't no drama. Unfortunately, squeaky wheel, whatever them damn comments are like that. He's going to fuss about running out of napkins in the pickle licking competition. Okay. Hot Rod Dave drama sells. It does. Cameraman Cletus. Slick is the scapegoat for the pros.
That's what's his name. He was on the show with us the other day. The guy that works for Yamaha. I can't think of his name. Sat right beside you.
Clint?
Yeah.
Is Clint cameraman?
Yeah. Look at his profile picture. I can see his profile picture. That's him.
Good Lord. Clint. He is a scapegoat. Let me ask you this. Do you think, and again, Lord knows she'll tweet about me if she ever hears about this. Do you think Trey Zaldane is a sounding board for what Chris really thinks? Now listen, I talked to her on Twitter one time. Do you know that Bass, it's on her Twitter, Bass threatened to fine Chris because of what she was saying?
I heard that.
Then no.
But Chris can't say the things she says. Do you think so? Do you think at least, or do you think that's just her?
She has a mind of her own. She's going to say what she wants to say.
She does do that. I give her credit on that. So do you think there's other people that do that? Let's just say Slick. And Slick, I love you. Don't make a video about me. But do you think a pro can call up Slick? Hey, XYZ, boom, boom, boom.
Sure.
And Slick puts it out there because that pro can't say it. Or anybody for that matter. Not just Slick, anybody.
Look.
He can do a little teaser video. You might hear this coming this week or next week.
Okay, he just did that with Bass.
Well, he did that with the NPFL. He said he knew about, and I watched one of his lives one time. He knew about it coming.
That joker has so many fingers in all these tournaments, and it ain't even funny. He gets news before it even breaks, man.
Well, somebody has to be telling them.
Exactly. Who is it?
So, that's what we need to do. That's me, boys. I had to change my email for my YT account. Okay, there you go. All right. So, do you think people, and let's take Slick out of it, just anybody, do you think people want to start rumors sometimes? Call this guy up. I heard this. I heard that. It's almost like politics.
It's been going on since the 80s. It's just like social media.
It's been going on.
Happens in club tournaments. It happens in everything. And
Now, Swindle is one of them, Trent. I assume you're saying
Swindle's one of them. that starts
G-Man is
stuff.
one who feeds Slick. Is that what you're saying? Because
Yes.
I don't know that to be true. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know that to be true.
I believe it.
I'm reading the comments right there. So, but do you think that a lot of the social media guys they know now have influence, have a lot of followers, that things get dropped to him? He does say yes. So Trent, a viewer, is saying that he thinks G-Man is a guy who kind of feeds Slick a little bit. Again, G-Man, don't know Slick. I don't know that. I'm just reading a viewer comment. It is true. Trent says it's true. Trent says it. So
It's true. It's
but do you think that goes on a lot? God knows, just like a sponsor. Instead of giving a bass guy $20,000, he'd rather give it to the YouTuber because he gets more views. Do you think a guy that wants to get some stuff out there?
Go to Red Crest this next year. Go to the Classic. You'll watch Rimmers fly.
Yeah.
You put the running joke is if you put 4 guys in the rim, they're going to measure something. They're going to compare something. There's going to be a rimmer of some sort.
That's why I don't go in the room with guys.
So
What are you in right
I know
now?
what you're saying.
But yeah, I mean, when you're at that deal and there's a pending announcement, everybody's got an opinion, and that's where opinions pile on opinions. And we just give me the truth, give me the facts, let's go fishing.
Well, how do you how do we get to that point?
That's an
That's why
individual
we're
decision.
discussing this.
How can we get to the point where you basically peel away the onion, no bullshit's left? These are the facts.
Let's have a tournament with no rules except the state rules.
That's what we want to do. That's it. Yeah, you heard him talk about that earlier.
I don't care if you got a 40 horsepower, 400 horsepower. You can
fish out of anything. You
6
can throw
forward-facing
anything.
Trojan dancer. I don't care what you got. Let's have a tournament. Let's go have fun. Just follow the state rules. Bring 5 fish to the scale. And let's all shut up and fish.
And nothing. Yeah, there's no limits, no nothing. You can have a 500 horsepower.
Follow state rules.
Will never happen.
I know, but
Will never happen.
after 17 podcasts and 28,000 Facebook things, it was a dream.
It was. Listen? Who puts Alabama Bass Council in charge of education info? Social media did. Again, that's from Kurt Hunt. 10 transducers, 600 horsepower motors, and 100 inches of screen. Let's send it.
Because you're eliminating all the crap. So
Can't bitch about it if everything's legal.
I don't care if you got
By the
100
state.
inches of screens. I don't care what you got. You still got to go figure out how to catch them. Everybody's even said just because you got forward-facing sonar, you can have the best of everything. You still got to go figure it out. Just because you got on front of the boat don't mean you're going to catch them.
That's just like
so
the tournament.
let's just say, I don't care what you got on your boat. Go catch 5.
Straight up. Just straight up.
Yeah.
State rules only apply.
Yeah, don't break a state law. Don't go to jail.
Well,
Call it good.
he's got forward-facing sonar, and he's really good at it. I'm gonna go fish right beside him because there's no state rule says I can't put my boat within 5 feet of yours.
Yeah, there can't be no law. There's no rules. So we can beat and bang right next to each other.
If you want to.
They do that on Tennessee River.
Boy, can you
But
imagine the fighting and the fussing at that
let
point?
men handle it like men on the
But
water.
let the men handle it on the water.
And you guys want to get in a shot match? 2
Yeah,
men.
let's take it to the bank.
That box don't tell you where to go, and it doesn't have a make them bite button. That's always been my thing. Because trust me, I've been on enough boats with forward-facing sonar, and I can't catch crap.
I mean,
In racing, we call that run what you bring.
so I told you before when I fished, I took time to take care of kids and stuff like that. Got back in, fished the Harris chain as an amateur for
Mhm.
the Bassmaster. Been out of it forever. Drove down to Florida, said, okay, I'm going to fish. And got in the boat, and we went to a shoal bed, and there's 15 of us sitting there. I can hit 4 boats with my lure.
Mhm.
And I said, what happened to the 50-yard rule?
Yeah, yeah.
And I get it, but like, I almost want to bring that back. If you're within 50 yards of somebody, I don't care if trolling motor on, anchor, whatever, just stay out of the guy's area.
Yeah, well,
But that ain't going to happen.
that ain't going to happen.
Especially with no
I mean,
rules.
especially like you go to Gunnersville and you're going to see 4 different boats on one ledge spot.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen. But do I say let's just cut out all the crap, follow the state rules, bring 5 to the scales? Yes. Tired of all the crap. Let's roll.
Somebody will still find something
No, they will.
to
But
fuss about. And that's the bad thing about it is we got to the point now, everything's divided in our society. Politics, religion, fishing, doesn't matter. It's
Squirrel dogs.
Huh?
Squirrel dogs.
Squirrel dogs for Blake and them guys. but regardless, it's like we're not going to be able to make anybody happy. And of course, Bass didn't make it with this decision. NPFL didn't make it with theirs. What do you think MLF's going to do? And I'm going to be honest. I know Jacob Wheeler's great. That's all I know about that. I don't watch a bit of that.
They had a team thing that was actually pretty entertaining. Two guys.
Okay, I might have to check. I'll check that out.
That one was entertaining. But honestly, right now, that place has changed so many rules so many times.
They don't know what.
Boy, duck it.
They'll figure it out. But yeah, it's going to be one. We're going to have about 4 or 5 more phases of drama before deer season kicks in full throttle.
Yeah, we probably started 2 of them tonight. I did.
Probably started 2 of them tonight.
I did.
Far Dog, listening from far southeast Oklahoma, fellas. Best podcast on YouTube y'all have. Been listening to y'all for a year now. My son fishes a college series. First event for him starts tomorrow. Thanks. Well, Far Dog, thank you, because I talked to guys about this. One, we know the locals around here will watch us from time to time if we ain't pissed them off. I enjoy watching guys from other states that actually tune into us. We're just a bunch of old yahoos from Georgia that have an opinion and have some fun, don't take ourselves too seriously. Tell your son from Fish North Georgia that we wish him the best, absolutely. And had the 2024 Bassmaster overall team of the year on here just Tuesday. And here's another thing.
College.
Yeah, college team of the year. Got talking to them. How did it feel? Kind of same shit we asked Trey.
Yeah.
How's it feel? Yeah, them guys can fish. So, but again, Far Dog, man, thanks a lot. Share it around. On a positive note, tonight's show has kicked ass. Guests are getting better and better. Need Benson on here next. Buddy, I'm going to get Buddy back on. You know what I want to do? Because we can do up to 8 mics. Because that's how many channels we got in there, right, Blake? We can do 8 at a time?
Microphone-wise?
Microphone-wise, I know we can do 8.
Yes, but what are you talking about, like screen-wise?
Screen-wise, we could do 8 if we wanted to. What I'd like to do is I would like to have a round table. And I'd like to put a bunch of old asses on one side and a bunch of young ones on the other side. And then just sit back and moderate the conversation back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can find some common ground. I'm sure there's things they're never going to agree with. But don't you think that would be interesting?
I think it'd be a blast.
I mean, I know, listen, Bass Talk Live tried to do something. I mean, they had a bunch of guests last night, but it wasn't so much that. How many young kids have you seen on podcasts? Because you got me to watching some this week. I don't watch podcasts.
There's been more this year that are kind of Robert G is working hard.
He does.
I mean, he did a podcast before he jumped on your podcast. He was on Straycast this week.
I saw he was on something last night.
That was Straycast.
That was Straycast.
He actually
okay.
drove to Chicago to be in the studio.
He drove to Chicago and his ass lives in Tennessee and went and drove down. I'm gonna call him tomorrow. That's
but he's into a tournament, so
okay, all right.
But,
I'm about to say, no way, man. I'm only an hour and a half.
But yeah, these young kids are working. I mean, the ones that work hard are going to get the benefit of it. And I'm going to go back to what Trent said probably 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Trent Palmer?
Yeah, our buddy here, Sonar Pros.
The best sonar installer in the world.
He summed it up the best when he said, you're there to sell product. Follow up with your sponsors. Let them know what you're doing. If you send somebody to him, let him know because he's tracking it.
Yep.
And all these other companies are doing the same thing. So your job is to sell electronics, boats, all this stuff, and be entertaining on the water. That's your job.
Yeah, I agree with
some
that.
days you're going to catch fish, some days you're not. But you're still there to help. Go have fun fishing, sell product. If you want the benefit of a sponsor.
You know what the beautiful thing about this show is? We're just like 3 regular guys. Well, 4 counting Blake. We're just 4 regular. And when Tim's here, we're just regular guys, and we see things. I think we see things from a little bit different perspective. We're not coming from a pro's perspective or a sponsor's perspective.
Yeah, I mean,
our conversation sounds like what most conversations around the water cooler or on the construction side.
I mean, if you take this little company right here, Mountain Dew, they got their outdoors deal. I know I used to work with a guy that works with that company now. In how they're tracking the interaction and everything else for different people they sponsor and the benefits of that. And they even got third-party people tracking it.
Yeah, companies, that's all they're there for.
But it still comes down to that relationship that they have with that sponsor, and are they doing a great job?
Yeah. Far Dog, my son needs no live scope. He can outfish most with or without it. Hey, I don't doubt that a bit. So,
Some of the people who've done the best is even kayak fishermen with nothing.
Well,
Just
Cox doesn't use it.
Fishing shallow. John Cox.
John Cox doesn't use it.
no, he don't use it. I don't think you need it, but I mean, I do think it helps. But it's just, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to watch how this all pans
How
out.
many guests have told us before they don't use it to scope for fish? They use it to scope for structure.
Bill Payne, who's well respected in this
Absolutely.
area, that's what he says. At night.
Yeah.
It's definitely at night. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But hey, Far Dog, if you're on Facebook, message me some contact info, get in touch with you and your son. I'd like to talk to y'all, kind of build that relationship a little bit with some. He said Oklahoma, right?
Yes. Yep.
Man, they get some big ass tornadoes and shit out there.
Oh yeah, used to live
Them
in there.
flatlands, man.
Oh yeah, used to
Like
live.
we fuss about our thunderstorms there. Their asses like there's stuff
Yeah.
coming over.
Used to live.
Make
in
no
there.
mistake, Alan Brooks. Make no mistake. Everyone is on commission.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
You're being watched every single week.
I
What-
know
what-
I am. Listen, I probably.
What are you doing?
Listen, I know
Uh,
some of the people that might have been watching tonight. I hope we didn't scare you guys off. But this is what the way we talk is the way everybody talks in the tackle shop.
Yeah.
The way everybody talks, when they're before the tournament, they're sitting. These are the conversations we're having.
There's just a handful of, well, there's more than a handful, but guys that hear something and automatically got to go on their little channel and go down rabbit holes without getting facts.
Always a lot
Yeah.
of them.
And that happened so much this week. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And
I'm kind of guilty of that. Can I be honest?
well, I get it.
I'm
but,
guilty because I got pissed off with the guys at the NPFL before I knew everything.
But even when you could have something as clear and straightforward as like what Brad said, and there were still knuckleheads out there trying to figure out the gray area to have a post and spin it. And
Yeah.
do it. And there's two that are like really, really guilty.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying unsubscribe and don't waste your time with.
Yeah. I didn't make no posts. I just made some
No,
comments.
I'm just talking about the ones that have a weekly reputation for just stirring up crap with no facts.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to them.
Can't.
Yeah.
People won't.
Yeah.
They like going down that. They like driving down 400 and the wreck's on the other side. They want to stop and slow down and kill the traffic flow on this side. So,
Yeah.
ban it, don't ban it. I feel like anglers will adapt to be able to catch fish consistently, regardless of the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, Blake, you've been quiet for the last 10, 15 minutes. You done sold up back there?
Nope, just
Hey, you
Hanging
woke
hanging
him
out, just
up.
hanging
I'm
out.
on. Listen, we're over 2 hours, and I know you
Hanging
got.
out.
I can sleep in late. I own the store. Last little hurrah for tonight. There's all the stuff you've heard from Trent. From Trey, and just everything that's been talked. I'm gonna give you one last chance to kind of. What do you think? Where do you think it's going? What do you want to see?
Who you asking?
You dumbass! I just woke you up to do it.
I've been wide awake. I mean,
I just look. I said, I'm
Listen.
sitting talking to you.
Were you looking for pinholes or what?
no, I didn't
I don't know
know,
what the hell
man.
you're doing back there.
Listen,
I was trying to be nice and start the close of the show by giving you one last chance
The rant.
to rant
I
or
don't
to
listen.
say you love somebody or
No.
whatever. I don't know how far you're into that
No.
daggum cup you got in there, but just one
It's
last
empty.
chance.
But no, listen, if people sounds like people have complained about TV viewership, to me, that's not going to change. Forward facing Sonar or not, people still going to watch. You may even lose viewers. People still going to complain about it. It ain't going nowhere. My thing is change the lakes,
Change the lakes.
go to different places.
Okay.
Like y'all kind of said, if you have a camera in your boat, be a character.
Okay. Yeah.
Show something, speak, teach while you're fishing. I've watched Zaldane do it. I watched him do it at Gunnersville when he's throwing a big spoon. Hey, this is how I'm throwing it. This is the rod I'm throwing it on. This is how I'm trying to throw it. This is what I'm wanting to do. Dude, all you got to do like that. Sell yourself,
Yeah, I get that. Far Dog says, on a serious note, fellas, the reason I always listen to y'all is because y'all are the most salt, and I guess the most salt of the earth guys I found on YouTube. I'm an old hammer. We could all go hit a back road together. We could. Because I sure as hell ain't no daggone
Listen,
expert. The devil's lettuce.
I got a government job, okay? I can't be doing nothing like that.
You got a government job? You can't hit the lettuce, or you can't do
No,
what?
I can't hit the lettuce. Government job.
You can't hit the lettuce?
Nope.
How often do you get piss tested?
I haven't in a while.
in a while.
But they do like every 3 months. They draw people.
If
It's
you ever
random.
need me to, like, if you know you're getting tested,
That
you need
won't
me to
happen.
pee, and you just kind of tuck it under there to keep it warm, I'll do that for you because I love you. I love you, Blake. Now go back to sleep.
He needs
They'll
to show
just get
Carson his
nicotine
new
and
tattoo.
alcohol.
You know what? Listen, when they draw blood from me, it says nicotine and gravy.
Yeah.
They don't see nothing else. There's nothing healthy in me. Like, I had a guy in here the other day say, I can't believe you're still alive because all I drink is Pepsi and dip, So,
He needs to show Carson his new turkey tattoo.
Blake, as a
Yeah.
turkey hunter, were you upset about tags going down to a 2-year? Listen, show him your cock, Blake.
You son of a bitch.
Blake, show him your cock on your arm. Look at that. He got him a turkey. Problem he don't understand is when he gets about my age like that,
It's gonna look like a chicken.
I don't. What do you think that's going to look like in about?
I don't
20
give a
years?
shit what it's
That's
going to
like
look like.
the women that
It's
get
still
the
gonna
tattoo
look
that
good
goes
to
across
me.
their back and it's
It
got a
doesn't
dragon head
matter.
on their stomach.
It's gonna look like an egret.
I don't care.
A what? An egret? An egret? It's going to look like an egret. You're gonna have to keep the upkeep on it. He's gonna sleeve out his whole arm.
Yeah.
Drew Patterson, Slick would be a good show. I actually talked to Slick. We talked about getting
Give
him
me
on
some
from
money.
time to
I'll
time,
get the
so.
store logo on there somewhere.
Can you tell him you visited Colorado? And all that? All right. So anyway, Kevin, last words. I don't even know what the hell we talked about tonight. We've covered everything.
Too
I
damn
think we're
much.
gonna learn a little bit when we get to see partial use of it versus none of it. So
Mhm.
I think in a year's time we'll be a little more knowledgeable about what's going on, what's coming. I think technology, and I think somebody had that in there too, is going to be advanced another year from now to it might be something completely different. Where the 360, as you spoke about, where it's been tricked out now,
I've heard that.
showing live, they're going to come up with something. If it's just banned to one sonar unit on the front or one active target, whatever it is, they're going to come out with a way to figure out how to get around that.
Yeah, no, I have heard it. That's unsubstantiated, but I've
It's
heard
not
that.
a fact.
It's not a fact. So, all right, Ken, final word there, dog.
For your Bassmaster guys, call Trent and get your fish obsessed mount that allows you to click it from forward to
Ooh,
that.
good sponsor plug, dude.
Or he's got that. I think he's got a new one. It might be coming out later on, but that I bought the mount from him. It works great. You can go from forward bow to scout bow in one click. Every Bassmaster guy, that's a good one for him because it's going to make it easy because you only get one. And honestly, I don't care if you got 1 unit, 10 units, whatever. If they ain't powered up right,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
it's going to be crap.
So you got to go Sonar
And
Pros.
then everybody else just go have fun fishing.
Yeah. All right, well, that's good. So I'll give you my final take on it as a very uneducated professional angler watcher. NPFL,
You've seen a lot this week too.
Jesus Louise. This son of a gun has texted me every damn podcast that has just been on everywhere.
Well, he's been on vacation for 3 weeks.
He has,
Yeah.
but I
I told him to apologize to his wife because it'd be my fault.
it would. I don't listen to that many podcasts. I tell you one thing I did learn is some of the, and people might say this about us. They probably do. Some of these guys doing podcasts, number one, shouldn't be doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Just because you can go buy a mic don't mean you can.
Right.
Okay, not necessarily the ones you watch, but I've watched some others. Number two, some of them are annoying. That's just me. Again, people say about us. But I will say this. So like NPFL, again, and just to be transparent, I got really ill, made some comments. I had a very good friend tell me, Danny, you're fishing North Georgia. I'm supposed to be impartial and let everybody else do the talking. And he's right, because we try to do both sides of everything here. Our comments, we try to keep them themselves. So I did actually reach out to the guys at NPFL, and I did kind of apologize for jumping all over the butts a little bit in the comment section. Got a call back from one of them. I ain't heard from the other two of the three individuals, and it might be a grudge they hold, but at least one of them called, and we're on good terms. And so I appreciate Big Al. I love you. So there you go. So, but NPFL, I think, in all fairness, let's see how it goes with them guys. I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree. Let's see how it goes, and let's work on getting the quality product that we watch. Raise the standards of that. Fair enough for that.
Yep.
Bassmaster, I really don't think you guys did that much. I've been lying to my wife telling her I had 10 inches, so she's been used to 5. I don't really think it matters, I don't think it matters if you got 70 or if you got 55. It's still there. Those guys know how to use it. What are you laughing at, Ken?
I'm waiting for him to cut loose.
I just wonder if it's inches or centimeters.
Is that metric? Is that metric?
You can go metric
Listen,
if you
hey,
want.
which one sounds bigger? 228 millimeters or whatever. So anyway, but let's just see where it goes. And MLF, I might be biting myself if I don't watch you anyway. So, yeah, so that's it. So, but again, hey, I did talk down on Brooks. He's watched tonight. There's the TAA, and it's still coming. It's still coming. So we're gonna do that. So anyway, guys, hey, appreciate you. Millimeters. I got 500 millimeters. What is that? What does that equal to?
Real tiny.
Kevin, what's 500 millimeters equal in inches?
Real tiny.
Well, that's about right. That's about right. So,
Somebody's gonna get it Friday.
guys, 500 millimeters equals how many inches?
Ah, Jesus.
You gonna give something away for that?
First person can have Kevin's phone number. 5 inches. That's about right, Sal. So we all know how it is. But anyway, listen. So it is a lot of fun. There's been a lot.
19.685 inches.
500 millimeters is
Yeah.
19 inches.
Yeah, so you're way
I'm on not that. I'm not on
Not
that
a chance.
Pornhub page. We need to pull that thing down. Yeah. Listen, if I had
There's
that,
some women knocking now.
listen. If I've always said that God blessed me with good looks and personality. That can be debated, but I sure wish he'd gave me one that growled.
This show's went off a deep end now.
I'd like to just pull it out and just go. "Arr!" I love you, bud. But anyway, guys, yes, and that's why you can do that at the end because hell ain't nobody watching now.
You still got 50 watching.
Run it like a sewing machine, Danny.
Jesus Christ.
Huh?
Jeez.
I didn't know 500 millimeters was 19 inches. I thought we were gonna come up with like 4.8. So that's my bad. That's my bad math. We'll just see. And you know what? Next week we'll come back. We'll talk about something different. Week after that, we'll just keep doing that. But like, my buddy from Oklahoma, we try to just have fun here and give you guys a little bit of a break from and just talk like regular guys do. So we're gonna be back next week.
If y'all allow me.
Huh?
If y'all allow me, I'll be here.
What did he say? You got to say anything.
If y'all allow me, I will be here.
Yeah, we'll allow you. I thought it was funny as hell tonight. So, anyway, guys, we appreciate you guys watching again.
Go have fun fishing.
Go have fun fishing to the next time we're on here. And Trey McKinney's mom, if you watch this and you caught the last half of the show, my bad. Your son did a fantastic job. We got him off before it went downhill. But we'll see. And, we're going to continue to talk about it. That's what we do. And if not, we'll talk about the women of the week or something like that. So appreciate you guys watching this. It's been fun tonight. I have not had but one beer tonight, Farmer. So listen.
Let's do this again.
You like just to talk, or we just get together and talk?
I do.
I do too.
Yeah.
Listen, having good guests, and somebody mentioned our guests are getting better and better and better, and they are. But sometimes it's just fun to sit around with guys, just like, because none of us are experts in the industry and all that, but all we can do is comment on what we see. And what we see right now is just
bitching.
Well, we don't know what in the hell's going on.
It's opinions or facts.
Well, if it's right, it's a fact now, but it will be it's a fact now, but it won't happen until.
That's Nostradamus in there.
Nostradamus. That's your new nickname there, Nostradamus. So keep up the shenanigans. Guys, hey, listen, we appreciate you guys. I'm going to go home and get in trouble with my wife for talking about Pam Anderson's boobs and anything else. And I might pull it out and just might squeak at her. So, hey, listen, we'll see you guys.
You're drinking Pepsi, right?
I am drinking Pepsi. I ain't had nothing but a Pepsi and nicotine all day, So, and your chicken wings, your fine chicken wings.
Thank you.
So, if you were a possible sponsor and now you're not, hey, thank you all from Virginia. See, look at that. I love the fact that guys outside of our state are watching us.
I'm telling you, covers a long way.
It covers more than I thought. He said that earlier. He's like, you don't realize how many people. He said the other night, how many people actually watch us.
I mean, like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. You got Florida. I mean, it's crazy.
It's only a matter of time for we piss them off too.
I've gotten messages from like multiple states. So
You'll have a presidential debate next week. We'll talk about
a presidential debate
next Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday.
You seen it? Let's do the Donald Trump dance.
Forward-facing sonar is the best thing that ever happened.
That's what we need. We need Trump and Kamala to have a debate about forward-facing sonar. How do you think that would go?
It was the greatest thing.
Trump would be like, it's
best
great.
thing.
I can't even do it, Trump.
The best thing that's ever happened.
I'm not turning my TV on for that.
Half of the country's done her, but I can't do it. So
Whoever says it needs banned, you're wrong. Wrong.
Did you catch that? Look, Kamala Harris got where she's at for a reason.
Danny.
Absolutely.
Now she may be great at what she does now.
No,
but
she's
listen,
not either.
listen, she climbed that ladder. She climbed that ladder is all I can say.
I
So
think she slid down it.
we're gonna go home now.
That's
So-
enough. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next Tuesday and hope you guys show up.
Hit the button.